Hello, welcome to the Football Social with Sky Bet. We're back today for a watch-along special, huge game, Liverpool versus Spurs. Now, you might have noticed there's a big space left for a big man.
Yeah.
He's not quite here yet. Adebayo Akinfenwa will be here. He is moments away. He's in the building, we're told, so he will be sat in this very
I don't think
spot.
that's enough room for him, to be honest.
So alongside him, Chris, while we wait for Adebayo, Chris Hammond is here. How much are you looking forward to this game? Big game for both clubs.
Oh, massive. I mean, I've got no skin in the game. Celtic already won this morning, so I'm delighted. I'm just here basically to wind you up.
Yes, like you are most weeks then.
You know, if Spurs go behind, touche. And if Liverpool win, then we've got a title race on our hands. So for the neutral, win-win.
Yeah, win-win. Pleased to say as well, back, not been on the show for a while.
Yeah.
Pato is here, which a lot of people are very happy about. Pato, how have you been?
I've been very well, thank you. Yeah,
Good.
It's a pleasure to be back. I'm hoping that Spurs get hammered today.
This is like a theme to the show here, yeah.
Well, I'd like you to be as miserable as possible.
OK, thank you. Thank you for all the well wishes that we're having for this show so far, the introduction. Alongside him, Will Brazier is, of course,
Hi, Will.
on Social Corner, Will. So, firstly, who are you supporting in this game?
Just entertainment and content, so I'm just after some great goals and some some great fun.
OK, and
Spurs.
You have got an important role to play.
Yeah.
So down the camera, let the viewers know how they can get in touch with the show and what you want from them.
Get in touch using the hashtag #TheFootballSocial, @SoccerAM, @FootballDaily. Get your questions in for the Beastie. We'll be here in a minute. And get your questions in for the panel as well.
Yeah, so we've got loads of questions, hopefully, that will come from Liverpool
mate,
fans, from City fans as well, Spurs fans. Big game for both ends at the top four, of course, for the title race. But we have got some results from yesterday to bring you. There was a lot of matches in action, so this is how the games unfolded yesterday. Man City, big 3 points for them at the top of the table. 2-0 they beat Fulham. Goals from Bernardo Silva and Sergio Aguero. Brighton Hove Albion lost 1-0 to Southampton thanks to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg after 53 minutes. A surprise result from many people tipped Wolves to win this one, but Burnley got all 3 points thanks to a Connor Cody own goal after just 2 minutes and Dwight McNeil. So that one finished Burnley 2, Wolves 0. Crystal Palace 2, Huddersfield 0. That result relegated Huddersfield. Huddersfield, the first team officially relegated from the Premier League this season.
Good riddance.
Luka Milivojevic and Patrick Van Arnholt with the 2 goals for Crystal Palace. Leicester City 2, Bournemouth 0. That one finished goals from Wes Morgan and Jamie Vardy. Man United 2, Watford 1. Goals from Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. Late consolation from Decore in the 90th minute. And West Ham 0, Everton 2. Kurt Zouma and Bernard with the goals. There was, of course, a big game earlier on today, and these were the scenes. Very, very unhappy Neil Warnock. Victor Camarasa gave Cardiff the lead. It was all Cardiff for big parts in the game. They were 1-0 up. Then a very controversial goal. Aspilicueta scored, but he was clearly offside in the 86th, 87th minute, so very late on. And then Loftus-Cheek gets the winner in injury time. Cardiff also agreed that they thought Chelsea should have gone down to 10 men. So, Chris, we can see Neil Warnock there, absolutely livid. 2 big decisions, both going against Cardiff. Quite unfairly, you'd say.
I mean, to be fighting for your life at this stage of the season and to have them happen in succession.
Look at his body language here, absolutely gutted.
Sort of sandwiched in between a moment where Rudiger could have been sent off as well for a last-man challenge on Cardiff's striker. Yeah, very hard to digest. I actually think that's Neil Warnock taking it well. Because at various points this season, he has
a man with the winning goal.
He has boiled over, hasn't he? But, yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, good to see him get on the score sheet.
So big win for Chelsea in the battle for the top 4.
Boys.
Not great for Spurs, not great for Arsenal, not great for Man United, obviously not great for Cardiff either. Adebayo Akinfenwa has texted me he's 1 minute away, so he will be here any minute. Whilst we wait for his arrival, which I'm sure will be as entertaining as it usually is, we can have a look at how that leaves the Premier League table. So this is the bottom. Confirmation that Huddersfield are down. Fulham and Cardiff stay in those relegation spots. Worth pointing out, Cardiff do have that game in hand. 28 points from 31 played. Big win for Burnley yesterday against Wolves. That takes them to 32 played, so very tight at the bottom of the table. And we can have a look what that result for Chelsea does to them. So Chelsea, 60 points. They're in 6th place from 31 played. Arsenal, same points as Chelsea, but of course they have that game in hand. They play on Monday night. Man United just a point above Arsenal and Chelsea. Spurs equal with Man United, so only a point separating Spurs in 3rd to Chelsea in 6th. Tottenham with that game in hand today. And Liverpool just a point behind Man City. So big game, Pato. Huge game for Liverpool.
I mean, I think you have to favour Liverpool at home. Like, they're unbeaten there all season. In fact, they're only beaten once all season. And I think Spurs, their away form lately has been shocking, hasn't it, Smithy?
Lately,
how
it
bad
has,
has it been? Tell me how bad
Well,
it's
Spurs'
been.
away form is actually very good in the Premier League. I think they've got the best away form in the Premier, one of the best in the Premier League. But lately, that was the key word in that sentence.
33 points, 1 point away from your record haul, but 5 out of the last 6.
So the away form has actually been good, but you're right. Lately, it's been bad home and away for Spurs.
Well, it's tough for anybody to go to Anfield, and Spurs' record there is particularly dreadful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I still look at this Spurs side. And Pochettino's done magic with it all season. I don't like Sissoko starting in midfield. As much as everybody says he's been good this season, he's been good for Sissoko.
Give him some credit.
Not for an actual football player. He's been decent. So I don't know. I think this one could be an interesting one. Sometimes with these games, you see one side blow the other out. But I've seen games between Liverpool and Spurs before where they both kind of press each other into submission and nothing much happens.
Yeah.
So I really hope that we don't get that today.
OK, well, let's go. Any questions from social that you've got quickly before we get into the team news?
I mean, a lot
on the live.
For the Beast's arrival as well, so lots of those getting in. But what do we make of Levy asking for 130 million for Eriksen? Is it realistic, given that he could be in the last year of his contract?
Yeah, big talking point. Christian Eriksen, so vital for Spurs this season, as a lot of players are. What did you make of those?
The Levy statements?
That question, the Levy statement about the potential price tag that he'd put on Christian Eriksen.
I mean, for you to have got what you have out of Christian Eriksen over the last, 5 or 6 seasons, and then to still get 130 million from him at this point, as he's approaching, 29?
No, he's 27.
He's approaching 28 then. I would probably take that. I think that would be more than a fair price. I think Dele Alli is sort of well-equipped in that midfield to do everything at this point. He could probably fill the creative vacuum that would temporarily leave. Yeah. And you need to recuperate some money, not necessarily just because they overspend on the stadium, but you need to bring in funds to facilitate moves to 2 or 3 players, don't you, to plug other gaps in the side. And we've seen that at the base of midfield is becoming an increasingly bad situation, let's say. So, and maybe at right back as well. But as a Spurs fan, how would you spend that 130 mil?
Well, it'd be nice to spend some money for a start as a Spurs fan, but I think where it's been compared is Eriksen is a bit like the Coutinho situation with Liverpool. I think a lot of clubs have looked at that and thought, by selling one player for a high price tag, you can look to then theoretically bring in 3 or 4 players. So I'd love him to stay as a Spurs fan, but obviously I think under Daniel Levy, he's only going to go if we get big money for him. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out. It's a lot of money. And with that said, let's have a look at the team news, because the team news is in. So let's start off with Liverpool, the home side. Jurgen Klopp makes 2 midfield changes from the side that won 2-1 at Fulham before the international break. Those changes, Jordan Henderson and James Milner replacing Fabinho and Adam Lallana, who both dropped to the bench. Trent Alexander-Arnold, this is interesting, starts having recovered from a back injury that saw him withdraw from the recent England squad. So that is the team. Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson. A very strong back four, as always, for Liverpool. Alisson in goal. Milner, Henderson, Wijnaldum. And then that front 3, Salah, Firmino and Mane. Goals galore in that front 3. Will they be scoring today? Let's have a look at the Spurs team. Pochettino also makes 2 changes from Tottenham's last game, which was, of course, the 2-1 defeat at Southampton. Eric Dyer is unavailable, having picked up an injury on England duty, and Kyle Walker-Peters not included in the squad. Kieran Trippier and Toby Alderweireld are recalled to the starting 11. So, interestingly, Pochettino here going with, of course, Lloris in goal, but the interesting point, the 3 at the back, Alderweireld, Sanchez and Vertonghen, as many of us expected he would do because of the fact that Spurs have injuries in that defensive midfield area, with Winks and Dyer unavailable. So, Trippier, Rose, Sissoko, Eriksen, Ali and Kane and Moura. Hamill, thoughts on that team for Spurs? Had to mix it about a bit because we knew that Dyer wasn't about and Winks wasn't about, so not entirely surprising, that team. Yeah,
I mean, Liverpool, despite their march, toward the summit of the Premier League, they've still struggled in various departments, haven't they? I think Mo Salah's only got 1 in his last 10. Firmino's only scored in 1 fixture, I think, albeit a brace against Burnley in his last 9. So I'm hoping that the dam burst today and we actually see some goals from that front 3. However, that defence does look pretty tight from a defensive perspective, I guess. So I think you'll be soaking up a lot of pressure. I think you're probably well positioned to do so. Interesting that Son isn't starting, because I thought he'd be pretty adept on the counter-attack. So
Son is on the bench. They've gone with Moura over Son. And when you think of the season, it worth putting out Son not scored in his last 5, but 11 in 12 prior to that. incredible goal contribution, particularly when you think of how many games and tournaments he's played in. As a Spurs fan, when he's not in the starting lineup, it's always a talking point. So from a neutral perspective, are you surprised that he's not in that starting lineup, given the fact that it's such a big game?
I mean, it feels like it might be a more defensive decision, getting Lucas in there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the plan to bring him on in the second half and give him a run against a tired fullback who has... Both of these fullbacks have played a lot of minutes in the league and in the Champions League now, and Klopp may even think about resting people later on if he feels like he's going to get a result. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem like a strange move to me, but at the same time, I think Pochettino has earned the right to do strange things this season.
Totally agree with
I've never seen somebody work magic like he has this year.
These are the scenes. Live pictures, of course, bringing you at Anfield. Spurs have won just one of their last 24 league visits to Anfield, whilst Mauricio Pochettino yet to win against Jurgen Klopp at Anfield, of course, in 4 meetings in all competitions. So we are moments away from kick-off. Big game at the top of the table. Liverpool needing to win to... carry on their title race, and Spurs needing to win as well for the top 4. The top 4 is so tight now, Chris. We just saw a point separating all 4 teams.
It's become the more interesting element of the Premier League, hasn't it, this season? Just sort of people readily surrendering the initiative when it comes to securing 3rd and 4th place. But fascinating nonetheless. I think it's interesting that he's gone with that workman-like trio in central midfield as well, Jurgen Klopp. The same 3, I believe, that he deployed against PSG in that first leg, and they are... The legs in that side, or the mobility in that midfield, tends to play well against, I guess, aggressive, press-heavy sides. That might be part of his thinking. But I am backing Liverpool for a win in this if we're going to sort of seamlessly move on to predictions while we wait for
he said...
via the big man. I'm going with a 3-1 to Liverpool.
Seamlessly moved on, 3-1.
It's a long minute, that, isn't it?
It's a long minute. Be quiet, Will. It's not a long minute. He's here soon. I'm going to go for a 2-2 thriller, Chris Hamill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, with the viewer being the winner, as Will said, which is the most important thing. So I'm going for 2-2. Pato, what are you saying?
I'd like a draw. I think a draw would be the best outcome as an Arsenal fan, so maybe a 2-2 as well.
2-2, OK. Will?
3-3, Virgil van Dijk scored the first goal.
Will, every time we've done Liverpool, you've always said 3-3 and Virgil van Dijk. Do you look at the game when you do the prediction, or are you just going with 3-3 as a...
Yeah, study the stat pack
consistency, isn't it, mate?
Yes, I think, that's the main thing for me, and just study the stat pack. And we've not had the best amount of goals, have we, on the last couple
No, we haven't. She's very right. Goals haven't been blessed.
Talking of goals, Goals has just walked into the building.
We can confirm that... he's just getting his mic on.
I felt the ground shake. I knew he was here.
I think we went a bit early. So you're going for Liverpool win comfortably?
I don't think comfortably. I just don't think... It's just a bit of a disconnect between Spurs' midfield, or the base of the midfield, and Harry Kane. You don't have someone that can, I suppose, in a situation where you're under the cosh, maybe... just dictate play from the base of midfield, or at least recycle play or absorb that pressure. You've got kind of this selection of combative midfielders. Sissoko's better off the ball. Eric Dyer, I still think, is probably a better centre half.
Do you?
Than a CDM. I just don't think he's he's not exactly a Swiss Army knife as central midfield. Let's put it like that. But I think your biggest threat is probably going to come down the flanks, once again. And Danny Rose, his form, I'm led to believe, has improved of late. And Kieran Trippier, he's good, or his emphasis is always on going forward. So I think Pato's right. We might see an element of fatigue from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
And here he is. Here he comes. Bayo's in the building. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Blessings.
Bayo, so talk us through we've had lots of people in social saying, where is he? What's happened? Talk us through what happened.
Oh, look, to be fair, today was a long day. I had to go to church and I had to watch my little man.
How did your little man get on in football?
They won 5-0, he scored 2.
Little shout out.
Hey, well done, Villa Court. Jai, well done.
That camera there.
Where am I looking at? Well done, Villa
you
Court. Jai, 2 good goals. Your dad needs some of that luck in football at the moment, but anyway. Anyway, moving on swiftly.
So,
but
so you had church, then you had the football.
Yes, and now I'm here. And I ain't going to lie, you lot messed up with my car.
Oh, did we? Oh, right, OK.
You sent it to the wrong... So I don't want to throw no people. I don't want nobody to get sacked or nothing, but, y'all messed up with my car and that.
OK.
I'm here now anyway.
What an entrance. Wasn't my fault.
Move on. And on that note, I'd like to thank all the people who work in travel, coordinate. A lot of hours booking cars for people. 99% of the time, get it right.
Yeah, so
but anyway, Bayo, we've got to quickly go to the Sky Bet odds. So, as you all know, through our mates at Sky Bet, we have some great incentives. All of these are price boosts for you. So, Harry Kane to score and Tottenham to win was 5-1. Sorry, it's now 8-1. Mohamed Salah to score score first. That was 7-2. It's now 9-2. Liverpool to win 2-1 was 7-1. That's now 8-1. And Tottenham to win 1-0. Big price boost. Was 18-1. You can get 20-1 on that. Now, don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. So some big Sky Bet price boost there. Bayo, we've had our score predictions. You're a big Liverpool fan, as we all know.
Yeah.
Big game for both clubs. This. How do you see it going?
I'm nervous, and I like when I'm nervous because we come good when I'm nervous. So I'm nervous, but I do see us winning 2-1. For me, I think Harry Kane's going to have something to say, and I do think he's going to score.
Yeah.
But I do think it being at Anfield, I feel we're going to win 2-1.
OK, the match has kicked off. We're a minute into the game at Anfield. Let's go to Social Corner. Bayo, I'll give you the team sheet so you can have a look at the starting lineup.
Can we also get a price boost on Bayo to punch you in the ribs again?
Apparently that price boost is not available.
Yes, let's put that in there.
Moving swiftly. Yes! Moving on to Will, while Bayo's having a look at the team lineup. Let's know what people are saying in the comments.
I mean, very simply put, I think we only got Hamill's prediction in, but it was... Nathan Rickby says, who do you think is going to win and why?
Oh, wow.
Just right.
We get all the big questions out of the way.
Smithy went 2-all, didn't he?
I went 2-all,
I think Pato was, he rested on a draw as well.
Yeah, draw as well. So.
Pato, you said draw?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I don't know.
Because you nervous me, like, because you normally, and you know when you say a draw, you say a draw, yeah?
I don't know if it's necessarily what I think is going to happen. It's what I would like to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't see Spurs winning. To be honest with you, I just don't really see how it happens.
OK, any more questions? Will?
One for you, Smithy, while Bayo's reading the team sheet. With Spurs' new stadium, which stadium is now the best in Europe?
Do you know what? Because I was fortunate enough to be at the game yesterday, and it's hard for me to answer this without sounding very biased, because obviously, just watching the incident there, 2 minutes gone. Nothing to report. Danny Rose looks like he was limping, but I think he's going to be OK. It's hard for me to answer that without sounding very biased as a Spurs fan, because... when people talk about how incredible the stadium is, it's not necessarily... It's huge and it's great to look at, and it's the magnitude and the size of it is brilliant. But I think what makes it so good is all the little personal touches that... I can't even begin to explain to you how many personal touches there are. The old centre circle is in the South Stand. They've got memorabilia walls everywhere you look of old scarves, of programmes of 100 years. They've got the decibel levels of all the chants pinned to the walls, 65... food and drink outlets. It's just absolutely incredible.
When we going?
And actually, the stadium itself, the single-tier South Stand, which is the biggest of its kind in the UK, which helps create atmosphere, I was genuinely blown away by it.
I'm sold.
I was genuinely
You've
blown away
sold
by
me.
it. So are you going to come?
Me and you? I want one of them beers with the old automatic refills.
And they've got that as well. There's a brewery there. It's
NFL games in case the Spurs games are a bit bad.
NFL games as well. The pitch actually retracts and another pitch comes into the stadium.
That sounds dope.
It is honestly...
you'll
be there for NFL, Bayo, won't you?
Yeah, I'll be there for the NFL.
It is honestly incredible. So, yeah,
I've been watching QB1.
thoroughly advise people to go.
I've been watching QB1 on Netflix, so
is it good?
I'm banging into the NFL now.
Oh, yeah?
No. But it is good, though. I'd definitely watch it. Anyway, back to the football.
Right, so 3 minutes gone. Bayo, you've had a look at the team. What are your thoughts on that? Because a few interesting ones. Milner, some people thought he wasn't fit to play. He starts. Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. Late fitness test starts. Two big pluses for Liverpool, that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both of them. I think Milner, big game, steady head. I'm cool with that. And Trent, I think Trent's... so I'm glad he's come through. So I think this is a strong team. And then you even look at Keita still to come in. I mean, Liverpool's got a good squad, so I'm happy with this. I think that's the engine room behind the front three. So
you've started really well here as well. Like very high line, sort of relentless pressing there from the goal kick. Spurs looking a little bit shaky in the first 3 or 4 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a strong start. Only 4 minutes gone, but Liverpool definitely started the stronger. Let's talk Mo Salah. We just saw shots of Mo Salah there. 4 goals in his last 4 appearances against Tottenham, so he's got a good record against Spurs, likes playing against Spurs, but having his worst run without a goal for the club. I always think when you talk about players like Salah's or Aguero's or Kane having a bad run, you have to put that into context of how good their stats usually are. But the stats do say, you know, worst run without a goal for Liverpool, 7 games, which by his standards is quite surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, because he's just been so prolific. So you always jump on him. It's the same, you know, Harry Kane. When they're so prolific, so it becomes the norm.
Yeah.
Anything different from the norm, all of a sudden people start talking. So 7 games to his standard it's a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? But as a striker, you know, when you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah.
And then when you're lukewarm, and sometimes you're cold. But look, Salah's going to... Oh, yo, get up.
Here we go.
Snap.
Little
First chance of the day for
no.
Spurs. Put through tomorrow. Oh,
Great tackle.
good clearance. That
Little slip there from Fabinho.
Trackle.
Little slip there.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. Spurs with the first real chance of the game. Danny Rose.
You mean
nice
Matip? Because Fabinho's not on the pitch.
What's Matip doing?
It's Matip.
Nice ball from Ericsson.
More
was through, but it's a good clearance from Trent Alexander-Arnold, the man we spoke about. Corner for Spurs.
Matip, sorry.
Yeah,
just register what you said.
So corner for Spurs.
Even that, like
Trippier on the ball.
not starting. He went for a period where I thought he was Liverpool's best player.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, he was comfortable.
Right. So corner for Spurs. Oh, being delayed slightly. Trippier taking it short. Interestingly.
Interesting.
Here comes Moura. A lot of red shirts in front of him.
So how was
And
Lucas,
it goes just wide.
Lucas Moura been now? He's, he had that adaptation period. He flirted with kind of recreating his best form at PSG for a little while, but he's been in and out the side, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
So
I think
has he been as a
I think that's a really good point that you make, because when he's played, he's been very good and very effective for Spurs. Obviously, a lot of neutral fans will remember the game he had at Old Trafford. We scored 2, got man of the match. And to be fair to me, because of the form Son's been in, he's found his game time quite limited. So I don't think it's any fault of his own that he's not been playing as much as he'd like. Every time he's played for Spurs, he's been effective. And what he offers Spurs that no other player really has in our whole squad is pace. He's the quickest player by a country mile in that Spurs team.
Son? That much quicker than Son, yeah?
Yeah, more is
Yeah.
the quickest player, I would say, in Spurs.
Son's quite quick on the ball, isn't he?
Son is quick,
enough, yeah.
But Moore is in out-and-out pace. And the way that he plays as well, he likes to run at people.
Yeah.
Whereas Son often plays now as a front two with Harry Kane. So it's interesting that Poch has gone with these.
I'm not going to
Moura
lie,
over Son.
I'm happy that Son's...
Are you? You're happy he's not
Yeah,
playing?
I'm going to say that, and then Philip Moore may step up and do something. But, you know what I'm saying? For him, I rate Son on a whole. I just think he's something special. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm actually kind of happy that he's not. But then, of course, he'll come on. And
Yeah, he's on the bench.
Yeah.
So Spurs' bench, just to read that out to let everyone know the options on the bench for both teams: Gazaniga, Heung-min Son, Victor Wanyama, Llorente, Juan Foyth, Ben Davis, and young Ollie Skip, who's had a bit of game time this year, of course, because of the amount of injuries Spurs have accumulated. That is Tottenham's bench. Strong bench for Liverpool, as Bayo alluded to earlier. Simon Mignolet in goal, Fabinho, Dejan Lovren, Naby Keita, Adam Lallana, Shaqiri, and Origi. Shaqiri, is he a player you expect to see?
There we go, take it off him.
Yeah, I think if they need a goal later on, I'd expect to see him. But it's weird this season. He's kind of played like almost a hybrid midfielder forward role. Like, I mean, he's obviously been really impressive. We thought he'd be a kind of useful part for them, but he's been much better than we could have expected, really. But Liverpool's depth overall has been great. Like the fact that Fabinho isn't starting this game, despite how good he's been, is kind of remarkable to me.
You're a big fan of Fabinho, haven't you? I remember from
I'm not actually a big fan of Fabinho. I mean, I've come round to him a bit more this season, but when he came, I thought he looked... He was kind of a good defensive midfielder.
But you think he should be...
I think he's
in this particular game.
He should clearly be a starter in this game. I think he's had a fantastic season. Naby Keita struggled for injury. Wijnaldum's a different sort of player, but Fabinho, I think, has been absolutely sensational. Like, his passing is really, really good from the base of midfield, and his defensive work rate is staggering. So I genuinely have kind of come round to Fabinho a bit this season, whereas I wasn't sure about him at Monaco.
I think conversely, he's a player that you could pretty much... That profile of player is what Spurs need at the moment.
Sure.
And he's kind of... Yeah, he's starting to profile in a very similar way to Fernandinho at Manchester City, in that he can contribute on both ends. Like, you often see him using that sort of flop wedge pass, don't you, in and around the 18-yard box. And I just think he's, next season he's going to be a starter
7
for sure.
Premier League games before today.
Yeah.
So interesting to... So two interesting team selections from Jurgen Klopp and Mauricio Pochettino. You usually see goals in this game as well. So we're going to, as you alluded to earlier, Will, not been blessed with some of our watch-alongs. We're expecting... Well, you're expecting
Don't
6
say that.
goals,
Don't temper fate.
It's 3-all he's gone for.
I think we've had about 4 goals in 6 live streams. And one was a double live stream, so that just says all we need. We just need some goals. Now. Please.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you. That's my tactical analysis of the day, that is.
Bayo, did you catch the earlier game? Did you hear the Cardiff-Chelsea game?
No.
Big ending to that. Cardiff 1-0 up. Chelsea with 2 late goals, one in injury time. One was offside.
Well,
and Cardiff, Chelsea lucky to have 11 men on the pitch as well. So Neil Warnock was... Chance for Spurs! Lucas, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Warnock was literally having a standoff with the referee.
Was he, yeah?
Cardiff had 2 big decisions go against them, and Chelsea very late on winning that game.
It was like a Wild West standoff, wasn't it, Chris?
It was a sight to behold.
Who scored the goals to Chelsea?
Loftus-Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek and Asby.
Yeah, got the equaliser. Loftus-Cheek with the winner.
Did you catch it in the Celtic Rangers game, Bio, or? You know?
No, I caught up in the car.
Terrible question.
It looked like it went off.
Go on, Hamill, get it off your chest.
It went
The
off.
ball's out of play.
You Rangers or
Celtic.
you're Celtic?
You know this.
He wants to
Clearly
talk
not.
about it. Let's give him.
But
let's give
no,
him
it's just a
10
very
seconds.
compelling game, and what an advert for, you know, Scottish football, the resurgence of Scottish football, you might say.
God, when is 10 in a row going to happen?
you don't need to
then
go.
Can we stop here? Can we just cancel Scottish football after Celtic win 10 in a row?
Yes.
I'm fine with that. Like, let's just agree that Celtic are the best team in Scottish football.
I think that's
after 10 in a row,
perfectly
then we can
reasonable, and
come
then
to
we
an
just
end.
get an automatic place into the Premier League.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Perfect. I'm glad we agreed on that.
You reckon Celtic will be able to hold their own in the Premier League?
No, we do well to stave off relegation at current, but I mean, it's you only get 2 or 3 million for winning the Scottish Premier League. You get 100 million for being relegated from the Premier League. So it's a totally different ball game, isn't it? Not really. I don't think it's overly fair to expect Celtic to sort of thrive given their current personnel. But confident we could be, you know, challenging Everton for Europa League football within 3 or 4 years. So.
Nice.
There we go.
Lofty ambitions, Bayo.
Come on, the boys. Anyway, yeah, back to this game where nothing has happened, Smith.
Not a lot of notes so far.
I know.
Have we ever had a goal in the first 10 minutes on one of these live streams?
We definitely have at some point.
We went
this
through a
season.
purple patch, if you know.
We've also done.
I just remember Dave Jackson just, you know,
yeah.
constantly screaming. I used to, every time I
Arsenal,
closed
yeah.
my eyes, I'd see his screaming
Come on,
face. But yeah, it's definitely not been great of late. But you know,
We had Luis Garcia on the Football Social recently, Bayo.
Oh, yeah?
Still speaks very fondly about Liverpool, and he recently played actually, didn't he, at Anfield?
That Legends
the Legends game, yeah.
That Legends game.
Gerrard
was
scored an
serious.
absolute
Yeah.
belter that game.
Luis Garcia's hair was absolutely like unbelievable for a man of
It
his
was,
age.
wasn't
as well. Yeah, great line.
For a man of his age.
Yeah. Well, it must be knocking
much.
forward.
Spurs, oh!
It's out of the way.
Spurs just starting to get a little bit more of the ball now, and Eriksen just dispossessing midfield. Liverpool back in possession. So not a lot of.
Interesting.
not a
Interesting
lot.
control.
Definitely,
was,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Which
Seemed
part
like
of the arm was that controlled with?
Definitely,
on,
yeah. Seemed
here
like
we
a
go,
candidate for
Trent.
handball. How do you see your chances of pipping Manchester City to the title in the final game weeks kind of unfurling, Bayo? Are you confident or are you a bit more reserved?
I'm reserved. The reason why I'm reserved because I think City's been there and done it. So that's the reason why I'm reserved with it. I think it's pressure, regardless of, you know, Liverpool have played pressure games, played in big games. I just think a run-in is a run-in. And I think this is all new to Liverpool. So I am nervous, but I do feel we can do it. You know, I like what Klopp's coming out saying about, you know, they've got to enjoy this process. They want to be in this sort of situation more and more. And it's right, you've got to. The only way you can get the experience is go through it. So I'm liking what he's saying. Come on, get up. I mean, no, you get down, win the ball. Shh. So I'm nervous, I'm not going to lie, just because I think City just look ominous. I just think they're...
Yeah. Would second place represent enough progress for you on the back of last season?
Of course it will, because I think progress is... I always say to everything in life should be progress. So, you know, if you do better than you did last season, then, yeah, I just think it'll be hard to take because of the position we was in.
Yeah.
You know, and I think with the games and, you know...
The fact you had that lead, it's not like you were chasing it at
That's
any
the
point.
thing.
Yeah.
If it was always like this, throughout the season,
Yeah.
I think we'd be a bit more like, yeah, you know what? You know, from how it was last season, it was cool.
You've
We
done
kept them
well,
all the
yeah.
way. There was one point, we beat Leicester, I think it was, we could have gone 10 points clear. And then I don't think they catch us. I think, and I said that at the time, we beat Leicester, we'll win the league. And so that's what it is. But, I mean, after I think everything settles down and that, I'm not writing us off, I do think that it's progression.
Do you think there's a lot more pressure on Liverpool now, the fact they had that lead? Because City look to be playing with a lot of freedom. The fact they've caught it, looking at the table now, there's 1 point in it, obviously very, very little in the title as Liverpool play now, so Liverpool can, of course, go back to the top of the league, but only a point in it. But Liverpool had that big lead. So do you think that there's a lot more freedom that Man City can play with? Because if they do win it from the position they've been in, that's a huge achievement. And
100%, it's more pressure.
A lot of people were saying it's Liverpool's to lose at that point. I know there was a lot of football there, but a lot of bookmakers favouring Liverpool at that point.
Yeah, it's more pressure on Liverpool, and you know, City gets more props because they saw it out with the they came back from where they were. So, but what I'm hoping for is City stay in all the competitions and all the games mount up, and it just gets too much for them. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, Tottenham are going to have a big say in City season, aren't they?
They will, yeah.
You've got playing
Spurs
the 3
played Man
times
City
now.
3 games, in the space of 4 weeks, I believe, at the
After this game,
Champions
come on,
League,
Spurs.
of course.
You hear me?
Well,
I was just about to say he's been quiet. Say it. Say it with your ear. Say it with your ear. Say it. Bobby. I
don't know what this is,
But Robertson, what a ball.
that was
Jeez.
absolute
Wow.
outrageous.
Klopp, I'll celebrate for you. Wow.
This is going to be a long day, isn't it?
Come on.
Absolute walnut.
Come on. Come on.
Bayo, go on then. Talk us through
Yes.
the goals.
Play that. Salah put it out. Look at that Henderson. Look at it. Watch the ball.
This is
Watch.
outrageous.
Look how he gets in between both. Look at that. How he gets in between both of them. Hey.
It's a very
Could
well
Lloris do
taken
better
header
with
as well.
this?
What?
Fantastic delivery in, isn't it?
It's
Oh my goodness.
It's beautiful. Nah, man, you can't even fault him. He's going back.
I don't know, it's not that far from Lloris, really.
And you know what it is? I don't think he's positioning. Maurice don't know where he is in the goal.
Exactly, I agree.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I think
When it went in, I was like, that's how I would have dived for this.
But yeah, he didn't know where he was in the goal. But it was all the pace was on the ball. He just
it's an amazing cross.
It was an amazing cross.
The cross is so good. You
Oh, it
can't
was
fault the
so- it
defenders
was-
there. It's just a pinpoint cross.
I mean, you could to say to fault the defenders. He was in between 3 of them, really.
yeah.
So
I think it's just a
you
fantastic.
look at, but the ball was
delivery,
great. The
I
ball
feel like
was
every
great.
time Lloris is trying to distribute it, like the defence come 10 yards further forward, and that's the 3rd or 4th time Liverpool have won it back from Hugo Lloris aiming to hit one of his full-backs at the halfway line.
Well done, Mane.
Like,
So
that's come from bad distribution.
zone.
Yeah.
So it is 1-0 Liverpool, in case you hadn't worked that out. 16 minutes gone. Firmino with the goal. Fantastic ball in from Robertson.
So good.
It was a Liverpool started well, but there hadn't been many chances before that. First real chance for Liverpool. And it's clinical, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got that competition as well,
finish.
haven't they, Trent and Robertson, about who's getting the most assists for the season?
Yeah.
Well, last time we were on a stream together, it took until, what Van Dijk, a Divock Origi 94th minute winner to see a goal. So we're already ahead, lads. We're well on
goal
track
for Liverpool.
here.
Liverpool on the attack again.
Whip it again, man. I'm nervous, man. Whip it. There it is.
Another great ball. It's another almost identical ball in as well from Robertson to Firmino again.
Trent!
Spurs
Full-back
need
to
to get a
full-back.
grip on this game. It's all Liverpool at the minute. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a shot that goes narrowly wide.
Did you request 2 Red Bulls? Is that what it takes to hit the spot with you?
Yeah, that's how tired I ain't gonna lie.
That's
That'd have been sweet.
Other branded drinks are available. There's the chance. Good shot. That is a great strike for Alexander. Only narrowly wide as well. On the first camera, it looked like it went further wide than it did, but that is only narrowly past Hugo Lloris's post. Robertson's having a big save. Let's get to the comments. I
Yep.
imagine there's some very happy Liverpool fans. There's some very unhappy Spurs fans on the stream.
No, definitely, mate. And some big questions coming in. One from Sign the Gamer says, should Liverpool stick with Joe Gomez as a long-term partnership with Virgil van Dijk, or should they buy a new centre-back to partner with him?
Stick with him.
They can do both.
Stick with him.
Go on, Patter.
Well, no, I mean, I agree with Bayo. Like, I think that he's going to be a phenomenally good centre-back if he can keep his fitness. But they still need another centre-back. Like, you need a fourth in that back line. And I think that if they took a gamble on a young centre-back, then that would actually work out quite well for them. Because we know from this season that they can fade injuries pretty well. They can deal with... Because Van Dijk has basically looked incredible, whoever's next to him. I think now they should be thinking about moving on Lovren and bring in somebody a little bit younger who can soak up those minutes and is actually going to improve. Lovren at this point is what he is. He's obviously not going to get better. So you might as well give those minutes to a young player and rely on the fact that the quality of your fullbacks, the quality of your defensive midfield and the quality of Van Dijk are going to keep you competitive.
Oh, Robertson again down the left.
my
Liverpool
God.
chance, Salah. He's got a lot of...
I'd
Any
in
danger
front
of
of
someone
him.
winning
Oh, if that way.
I'd agree with that approach entirely. Like, I think this is a great time for Liverpool because they made such good fundamental additions to their squad. They can actually be a little bit more experimental with their next round of transfers.
Yeah.
So, like, bringing in... You might go to Dortmund and go to a Diallo or a Zagadou or Jonathan Tah at Bayer Leverkusen. Someone that's not quite the finished article, but someone that is as good as Joe Gomez is now. And you just say, here, lads, compete for this position next to Van Dijk.
Yeah.
and hopefully that raises the standard. That means one of them will come to the fore. That's a great position to be in as a Liverpool manager.
What about Celtic? What about Celtic? Like, as in, it does seem like Celtic. I have my criticisms of Scottish football because it's dreadful.
Yeah,
but,
everyone does.
But Celtic have genuinely produced a lot of talent recently.
Yeah.
And this season, obviously, Benkovic is on loan from Leicester. But what about Benkovic or Aya as an experimental gamble for a top team?
And we've had to do without Benkovic for a large part of the season because he got injured. But before that, he looked like another player who, at centre-half, you instantly recognise as someone that can play at a much higher level. Like, as soon as Van Dijk came in and we bought him from the Eredivisie, as soon as he came in, I was like, oh, my God, this is a guy who's going to be with us for 2 years max. He was taking free kicks. I think him and Jason Denayer contributed to 15 goals between each other in their first season. So recognising talent or, you know, the cut above isn't very difficult in Scottish football. But yeah, some of our exports of late have been great, and I believe that Christoph Aya is probably another candidate who could step up yet again. He's a guy who's very brave, stepping out the lines. He puts up excellent dribble numbers for a centre-half. He's 6'5". Oh my God, Mo Salah!
What a tackle that is. Jadon Sancho with a fantastic tackle to dispossess Mo Salah.
Yeah, so he's 21, 6'5", and he's
offside.
Looks supremely comfortable on the ball, which is a quality you need in the Premier League, you know, to succeed with one of these managers who likes to play it out from the back. So, yeah, Celtic is becoming fertile breeding ground, but now that, you know, clubs have clocked onto that, just means that we're going to, you know, be Europa League fodder for the rest of my life.
Corner for Liverpool, Bale. Quite controversial as well, because that was offside, I think replays showed. So Spurs be unhappy if Liverpool scored, but has been dispossessed.
It wasn't offside.
It wasn't offside, was it not?
No,
Is it not count as offside if it's Liverpool?
No.
Are you wearing some sort of like corset, Smithy, just to protect your ribs in case of...
Yeah, I've got
a bit of Kevlar on.
Every time.
That was a love punch. It was a love punch.
God, if that's a love punch, I'd hate to know what hate punch is. Wow, love punch.
See, OK, but then even... So, you know, Pat was telling about... It's true. When you watch VVD, innit, he is so comfortable and he makes everybody else comfortable.
Yeah.
So the worry is... If VVD does get an injury, God forbid, then to bring in a centre-half the centre-half is not as good as VVD, because I think he's the best in the world at the moment, but is one step above.
Yeah. But I think you only need
that
Virgil
level,
van Dijk.
if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. So if he does get injured...
With some injury.
You probably only need Virgil van Dijk, you know, against the top six, which you fared very well against, haven't you, as a result of having him there. So you maybe... I'll back Klopp to find another solution, you know, even without Van Dijk defensively against some of the bigger boys. I mean, it's a gamble.
I do think, but then I would go with.
What?
Oh,
what just happened there?
I mean, he's contributed massively as well, hasn't he?
He's had a weird start to this game.
Yeah.
It's not just Van Dijk, like.
No, it's true. We needed, to be fair, the two address was centre half and goalie, and we did it.
And did it early as well.
Did it early.
Interesting as well, just saw shots of Mauricio Pochettino. He's, of course, serving the second game of his two-game
That's what I was gonna ask,
ban. Yeah, so Jesus Perez is running things from pitch side, and Mauricio Pochettino's in the stands. So, Bayo, as a player yourself, has that ever happened to you in your career where a manager's had a touchline ban, and does it have any effect on the players or the team?
Has a manager been? Yeah, can't remember who, but it does. It does make a difference when a manager is not on the sideline, and people can say why, you know what I'm saying? But it does, you know, your managers generally is your commander-in-chief, innit? Right. So you look to your left or the side, you know what I'm saying? So when he's not there, it is a different feeling. So it is, because all of a sudden you've got to wait till half-time to go and speak to him. So it does.
This will have an impact today. You think this will play a part?
It will, because ultimately, you know, sometimes as well, if you've had a bad touch or you haven't run, the manager's just go have a warm-up to another guy. It does get you on your toes.
Psychologically, little things like that.
Yeah, it does.
Trippy with the ball whipped in.
Oh, that's terrible.
Too far. Yeah, just the guys were laughing there. Bit of a mix-up at the back, Hammer, wasn't it? We haven't actually explained what happened, but Alisson, bit of a fumble there.
Yeah, between
Dele Alli, but they got away with it, Liverpool.
Between Milner and Becker, and that could have gone Pete time, couldn't it? Quite quickly. That's a big stroke of luck there for Liverpool. But it just came up a graphic on screen there that Alisson has the highest save percentage of this season of a goalkeeper with 77. Now, I'm guessing I think behind Manchester City, Liverpool faced the fewest shots in the league, so he's not being bombarded, you know, as much as some of the goalkeepers per 90, like Ben Foster, who's been absolutely excellent for Watford this season, but will have a much lower percentage. But as well as Van Dijk, it's just that higher level of concentration, isn't it? Particularly in bigger games that has seen Liverpool kind of be in this position, I guess. And yeah, as much credit as Van Dijk gets, I think Alisson deserves, in equal proportions.
Yeah, so 25 minutes played, still 1-0 Liverpool. Other stat that we saw pop up on screen was Liverpool's impressive record when they score first, Chris. Well, it's just they don't tend to lose many games from this position, which will be another worry for Spurs. Coupled with the fact that Liverpool's record at Anfield this season is so strong, they've not lost a single match.
Not great news, is it?
So the stats are firmly in Liverpool's favour at the minute, and they're on the attack again.
Well, they're not a great team to chase down, are they? Because it just means that you leave bigger gaps for these kind of judicious, runners of the ball like Firmino.
Oh, my God.
Oh, hello.
That was quite a tasty
And Virgil van
challenge
Dijk.
from Dele Alli.
Yeah, carrying the ball forward. A lot of joy. They're really identifying Robertson down the left. The amount of joy that Liverpool are getting down the left-hand side.
Especially with Trippier's form, he'd be straight down there, wouldn't you, on the left-hand side with the
Come
year
on,
he's
Will.
had. He has had a bad year, though, hasn't he? After that amazing World Cup.
He's never been a very good defensive fullback, but you keep him in the side because he's an incredible attacking fullback.
Yeah, and I think he plays well. His main strength is when he plays with a three, and he can go forward because his crossing ability is phenomenal.
And when he's got somebody athletic to kind of fill in behind him as well.
So Liverpool still on the attack again.
What about Liverpool picking up Alderweireld this summer? If they said, because the other side of going for a young player and saying, look, we can afford to gamble, is saying we've got a window where we can really compete with City to win the league. So why don't we just get proven talent? And Alderweireld supposedly going for what, 25 mil, something like that?
Yeah, because of the clause in his contract. It'd be interesting to see whether he. The interesting one about Alderweireld's contracts, I've read into this a lot because I obviously want him to stay. But the interesting thing is that it's not that he wants to leave; it's that they haven't renewed his contract, so that there's still this clause that exists within it.
Right.
That means that a club can buy him at a relatively
So why haven't they
cheap
renewed it?
price.
Does he want more money? A lot more money.
That sounds like
I mean, great question. Why haven't they renewed it? I don't know.
I mean, with his injury
But his age,
concerns, does that not
that's
make...
the factor
How old is he?
Yeah, but
that's the factor of his age. So do you think that's
Sure.
why
How old is he?
he is?
Approaching 30, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's a young
30. I think he's
pup,
30.
man.
Is that still young in the game, Barry?
That's a young
Yeah,
pup.
that's still
man.
young.
I'm 36, 37 next month. He's a young pup.
37, yeah.
Yeah, he's a young... Yeah, I am, boys. I've been around for a while, fellas, but he's a young
Sorry to bring... I don't know how we got to the age
I
thing.
know, Rob, he's a
He's
young
30
pup.
years old, Toby Alderweireld, yeah. Which is a young pup for you.
I mean,
It's a young pup, man.
If you can get him as
'Cause what makes me
Liverpool
laugh,
for £20
though,
million, that'd be
They
great.
always keep saying 28's the prime, so you only got 2 years to be in your prime. You hit 30, all of a sudden you're old.
Oh, corner for Liverpool. Hits
the post.
Hits the post, and he's behind for a goal kick.
Charlie Mulgrew-esque there, scored 3 direct corners this season.
I
So,
feel like we've had more chat.
He scored one against this, actually.
well, he plays for Blackburn now, so that's not,
A bit of Celtic and Birmingham chat. That's a unique
what we bring to the
conversation.
Give the fans what they want.
More down the right.
Oh,
Kane's in the box.
Will they complete a cross?
Moore whips it in. Oh!
No.
Why were we so
No is the
spread?
answer.
Come on, Spurs.
Good impartiality there.
Sissoko carrying
It's not
the
what
ball
the football
forward.
social is about, is it? Got to be a bit
Not with Dave
part of it.
Jackson's. Oh! Big chance for Spurs. Ball whipped in. Great cross. Moore just couldn't get on the end of it, and Liverpool clear the danger. Goal kick. That was a big chance for Spurs. Spurs are getting a bit...
Robertson had gone
Lucas
to
Moore
sleep.
has been lively, Chris, hasn't he?
He has, and he's just moved
very
out.
lively.
He's just moved out to that right-hand side a little bit more, isn't he? Kind of hogging the touchline a little bit more, apart from here where he's firmly inside the
Great
6-yard
ball.
box.
Robertson's got
Fullbacks are
no idea
putting
what's
in-
going on.
Fullbacks are putting in some balls, man.
Smithy, say you've not got a massive budget to operate on, which we assume is
What-
going to be
what
the
makes
case
you think
with Spurs this season, or moving forward from this season, sorry.
Yeah.
Who do you buy from outside the top 6 that you think makes an impact at this level? Or
Two
who might
parts
be
to that question. I think
a cheaper acquisition?
Salah's in. Oh.
Well out,
Could've
Lloris.
just
It's really hard to concentrate on the questions and the game here.
Good game.
I think Spurs, who I think is attainable, not necessarily who I think will start and get in the team. I think Jack Grealish is attainable, and I can see Jack Grealish leaving Aston Villa if they don't get promoted.
You don't want him
this season.
absolutely overrated, Smithy.
OK. But who we get to really make a difference is a tough one, because I think we've got to spend money. Zaha, I thought would have been a great addition to Spurs, but he's a player that is on high wages and is going to be an expensive player to cost because he's still got a lot left on his contract at Palace. So I can't see Spurs spending...
wants to
What would you spend for... What would you have to spend to get Zaha? Probably 60 million, would you?
I don't know if
today-
Zaha's right for you.
In today's market, but in terms of making it
yeah, I
very
don't
hard
think
to
Zaha's
identify
right
a
for you.
player that is is going to come into that Spurs team and make an impact unless we sold someone to make way. And I don't think any Spurs fan wants to see someone like Eriksen or Dele Alli leave the club.
Well, speaking of Eriksen leaving, Jay Trembath says, what about my picks would be James Maddison or Ziyech as well?
James Maddison's a good shout.
I think those are both really good picks, actually. Like, though Maddison's going to cost an arm and a leg now. Like, Leicester can afford to say no to big bids.
Maddison's
had a sensational season.
Yeah,
He's genuinely been amazing this season. And we actually talked about him as a potential Eriksen replacement on our podcast, which you can find on your podcast app, Sunday Vibes.
Good, Patso, good link. Crowbarred it in. Crowbarred it in.
Yeah, so I think James Maddison would be great. And Ziyech as well. Like, Ziyech would probably be pretty cheap, and you've got to imagine that Spurs would be able to make him quite an attractive offer.
Yeah, I imagine Ziyech could be cheaper than James Maddison right now.
So who's this player?
Hakim Ziyech from Ajax.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, so he basically, two or three seasons in a row, he led the Eredivisie in shots, key passes and dribbles, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
And obviously we're now seeing it in the Champions League at the highest level. He's pretty quick, he's a good defender as well.
Come
I
on,
think he's
come on.
26.
Oh, no, Firmino's in.
It turned out nothing happened.
Does that mean we can throw Dusan Tadic back into the mix with his revival at the
Little
Bernabeu?
old now, but
I didn't see the cover in
but I do enjoy Dusan Tadic. But yeah, I think that Ziyech would be quite a good candidate. And there's a guy as well at Toulouse called Ibrahim Songare, who's a defensive midfielder and puts up huge defensive numbers, but also he's one of the best dribblers from central midfield in Europe. Really, really good at kind of bursting through the midfield. Kind of like Moussa Dembele, you might say. And he's 21. I think he's like 6'4" as well. Like, he's a big guy, and you could probably get him for about 15 mil.
We
so I think somebody like that would be good.
We flagged Joan Jordan, didn't we, on a podcast as well? Who plays for Eibar at the moment, and he's in the top 3 in terms of chance creation in La Liga at the moment, and he plays for little old Eibar with their stadium of 7,500. Arsenal have actually been linked with him of late.
24 as well.
Really talented, really talented passer, really talented attacking midfielder. Not necessarily great on the defensive end, but if you're looking for a cheap gamble to replace Eriksen, what we were talking about, to kind of offset that loss of creativity, but then still give you room to manoeuvre for a defensive midfielder or a deep line playmaker in the transfer market, it might be wise to look at options like that. But I do think you need that. I mean, it's hard to pluck out the next Luka Modric, isn't it?
Yeah,
but someone that's going to dictate play from the centre of midfield here.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a lot of your
I think it's actually going forward,
come over the top.
Spurs have got a lot of options going forward in the... And also, this is assuming... Let's point out, Christian Eriksen, he's...
Big chance!
Dele Alli, big chance!
I knew that way guy did. Sorry.
Narrowly over the bar. Let's have a look at that.
That's like you in the car park.
Poor from Liverpool there.
I know, Liverpool, I don't know, they're trying to get
What happened there for Liverpool?
They were getting too complacent.
Lovely 1-2 from Manny
touch.
Eriksen.
Shot
from distance.
This is the good thing though about Spurs. About Spurs not buying anyone last summer. Like, I kind of like that in a way, in the sense that they basically said, this is the decision we're going to take, and we actually don't care how bad this is going to look with the fans. I've hoped that they...
Here comes Kane. Harry Kane with the chance. Good shot.
VVD, my guy. Jeez.
You like that?
Jeez.
I also think as well, when you're talking about who Spurs need, I don't think Spurs need a lot. I think we've actually in a situation now where our 11 is pretty strong. Going
this is
forward,
what I'm
the
saying.
options we have.
It's got ageing.
Do you come to Spurs knowing, because that 11, you're not going to get into that 11.
This is my point. I'm saying,
and I think
identifying
you can't displace like Sissoko or an Eric Dyer or Harry Winks.
fullbacks who are, not
but I think
particularly
a lot of the issues that we're having, so strikers, for instance, we know that we need cover for Kane. That's an area that everyone knows that we need cover for, but it's very hard to attract a striker to say to that player, oh, by the way, we want to sign you, but you're going to sit on the bench. Because that's an area where strikers aren't happy to sit on the bench. And I think the reason we identified
Llorente... you need a striker.
Yeah, but exactly.
But the reason Llorente came is because he's towards the end of his career, and I think he was happy to play that part, but it's very difficult in that area I'm talking about, to find another striker that's happy to do that. Midfield is a different issue. I think we definitely need a central midfield.
And your ageing defender as well. I think it's perfectly fair to say to a young defender, look, you're going to share some minutes with Alderweireld and Vertonghen, but those guys are well into... Vertonghen's well into his 30s
But that's what he identified Foyth as. I think Pochettino likes Foyth. We just haven't seen...
I kind of like Foyth. He's amazing.
This has been... Can we just let's talk about this? This game's been... It's been quite mad, hasn't it? End to end, there's been some displaced passes for both teams.
It's the game we wanted and the game we deserve, Smithy, after the run that we've been having.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who's taking them corners? Yeah, they're going for goal. Trent, he's going for goal.
The one that's weird with Spurs, I think, just getting rid of Dembele in January. Like, he's obviously aging,
that was weird.
But like, wait to the end of the season, at least you've got a great cover and for like. Well, he'd been playing today, wouldn't he?
Will, we can take us to a price boost. I know you're a big fan of the price boost, Will Brazier.
Are we going to do a...
There you go.
It doesn't really work when it's one person.
Big price was here, Bayo.
Left hanging over
Firmino
there.
to score a brace was 7-2. That is now 9-2. So good odds there. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply through our friends at Sky Bet. Can you see that one? You see that one coming in potentially?
Yeah.
The way that he's playing?
Yeah, I can.
Could we get a price?
Straight up, yes.
I can see it. I'm not even going to lie, I can see it. Because I was just about to say he's quiet, but, you know, he pops up, like...
That's the sign of a good player, isn't it, when he's quiet to...
Oh my God.
I mean, Will, should we go to the social corner?
Oh, no, come on!
But not displaced passes here from Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool don't exactly look that solid at the back.
Yeah.
Back post, hang on.
Kane, did that go... Is that take a deflection or not?
No, that was just...
I mean, just bringing it out of the back is where they've looked vulnerable. Like, there are, you know,
There's been a lot of misplaced passes
in
from
that
both teams,
situation, like,
actually.
look, a nice kind of defensive line, like forming now. Look, that's, I mean, it's pretty sound positionally speaking, but yeah.
Drops deep then,
I mean, if you had a bit more of a, someone with a bit more kind of range to the distribution like Fabinho, maybe that becomes less of an issue, but you've got the running power, I guess, of Henderson and
Chris,
Milner.
Dele's read that quite well as well, because twice both dispossessed passes have both been picked up by Dele Alli in that
He's
midfield
one of the
role.
best pressers in the league. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of defending a defensive forward, he's got very good anticipation.
He reads the game very well. And he's,
Plus, Liverpool love these like switches, full-back to full-back, and if you read them or if they don't come off, then it's a really dangerous situation with the pace.
Yeah, because we like to spread wide, innit? So if they don't come off, it's open and they can come straight at us.
Yeah. The midfield actually, weirdly, don't feel like they've been on the ball a lot in this game. It feels like it's mostly been down the flanks with the full-backs. Whereas Henderson and Wijnaldum are just kind of linking a tiny bit.
Oh, another chance for
Man
Liverpool.
over.
Edge of the box. Mane! I thought that was in.
I thought that was in.
I thought that was in as well.
I was about to fly. I was about to fly.
I'd love to see him fly, mate.
We're singing Andy Robertson's praises. Interestingly, just sums up what season he is having. 9 assists for Liverpool in the Premier League this season already. Wow. Of defenders in Premier League history, only 2 defenders have had more in a single campaign.
Dennis Irwin.
Yeah, let's go on. Let's throw it out there.
Is this a quiz? Is this an official
This
quiz?
can be an official quiz. Who are the 2
put that out
players
there.
that have
Prolific.
both with 11, interestingly. So 2 defenders that have registered more assists in Premier League history than Andy
season.
Robertson.
I mean,
In one
Ivanovic
season.
might have had a season.
Not Ivanovic.
Aspilicueta.
Interesting as well, Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. We're talking about both fullbacks. Has 6 Premier League assists this season. So
11 assists.
incredible amount of assists. for lots of fullbacks.
Alonso.
Not Alonso, no.
Who's
Kyle
one who takes
Walker. No,
who
Walker.
takes
No, he
set
Kyle
pieces?
Walker.
It's going to be surely it's got to be somebody who takes set pieces like Kolarov or Baines or someone like
Correct.
that.
Leighton Baines.
You said Leighton Baines. Pato's
Yes.
got the first one.
Yes.
The other one could take us a while.
Christian
It was in
Ziege.
1994-95 season.
Oh,
Ian
Graham
Hart. Did you
Lassau.
say Ian Hart?
No.
Ian Hart.
Of Leeds.
It's not a bad shout, that.
Graham Lassau.
Not Graham Lassau.
Ian Hart, a mean free
Mario
kick on.
Melchior.
No, it's not.
Blues legend.
If you know
Celestine Babayaro.
Go on, throw it out to the
Nigel,
viewers. If you know it in the comments, get us in the comment section below.
What team?
Nigel Winterburn.
Not going to reveal that.
Lee Dixon.
This
Man,
could
they
go
just
on.
throwing names at me. I even threw out one.
I think
Who was decent in '94?
I think one of these against Spurs,
Lee
actually,
Dixon.
when we had a not as good team as we had now.
Andy
He works. Yo! What did you say?
Andy Hinchcliffe.
I was just about to the clues we give you. He works
Oh
for
my
Sky
good
now,
God.
and Will has just called Andy Hinchcliffe. That is amazing.
Clip that out, Steph. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Can we just say as well, Robertson 9 assists, Alexander-Arnold 6 assists from defence this season. That is
incredible.
It goes on for what you were both saying.
And they're doing
how
it in
good
the
Liverpool have
Champions
been
League as well, aren't
down the flank.
Hector Bellerin started the
But
season with 5.
but then that's where Liverpool
Yeah.
get their width anyway.
And Kolasinac
Like, do
got
you know what I'm
bunch.
saying? Our fullbacks bomb because our front three play pretty narrow, which is good, so they can interchange with each
Yeah.
other. So our fullbacks have to be good, and Robinson and Trent, salute.
Just so you know, Barry, that isn't the end of quiz time. We'll have a second half quiz time.
Yes,
Because
thank you.
I know you like that. Whenever
I like that, man.
You
Because
come on.
I was 1 second away from getting Hinchcliffe. You get me? 1 second, yeah.
That's a fact when we
unfinished
book
business.
Bear, isn't it? That's a fact when we book Bear. He goes, I want a car and I want quiz time in the show. We didn't sort the first out for
Yeah, I
you.
know they messed up, but
Will, let's go over to you while there's a break in play. 39 minutes gone. It is Liverpool 1, Spurs 0, courtesy of that Firmino,
Firmino, come on,
should I
get your
say.
name right, bub.
So let's go to social corner. Remind the viewers about how they can get in touch as well.
Using the hashtag
Dig 'em out a
Football
little
Social, at Soccer AM, at Football Daily. A question here from Matty Fry. He says, where do we
Matty Fry,
think...
the
Matty
striker?
Fry, yeah, Walsall and Leicester legend.
Leicester City, yeah.
Where will Jadon Sancho be playing his football next season? Obviously, a lot of talk. He's going to United, but could he be pried away by other clubs? Obviously,
Massive
Madrid
fan
looking
of
to do a
Jadon
rebuild.
Sancho.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Needed a
Greedy.
loop.
I like that. Be greedy.
Where do we think Jadon Sancho will be then next year? Bayer, would you have him at Liverpool with the price tag?
Yeah.
100,
Yeah, man.
for 100 mil?
How much? What's the price tag?
100 mil? I'll give you 100 mil now. You taking it? No deal?
It's not deal or no deal, this is
Yeah, it is, it can be.
100 mil. You know what? I
You got,
rate
you
him.
got a bit of the Edmonds about you, mate.
I rate him, though. I think Sancho's
I think I'd say
he's a breath of fresh air, to be fair to him.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a really exciting player. Isn't
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, what I'm
That would've been
VVD. You got
great little build-up there from Ericsson.
no,
Eriksen winning the
Eriksen's
ball
so
back
good,
again.
if I'm Manchester United and he's available for 100 mil, I'm spending that straight
Yeah, exactly.
away.
Yeah.
Like,
he? I think if I'm Real Madrid,
without
I'd
a
go for it as
shadow
well.
of a
Brilliant.
doubt.
Yeah.
£100 million pounds.
But for me, it's different with Liverpool. But then
Yeah.
you've got Sanchez, you've got United.
I think that's the most viable destination at United, isn't it? You're willing to spend the money.
Is that with Sanchez going?
They don't have to get him off the wage bill, but I imagine that'll be, part of Ed Woodward's remit this year, this summer. But he's going to have to go to China, isn't he? After
Let's look at Sancho in another
the
way, though.
People's Republic.
Should he not stay at Borussia Dortmund, given in mind the fact that he was at City, didn't get the game time? I have a huge amount of respect for him for going abroad and playing there, and the fact that he's doing so well. And fans idolise him, don't they? Do you not think there's something
If
to be said
United
that
want
he should
him-
stay at Borussia Dortmund?
If United want him, he should come United. That's my opinion.
think?
But my opinion is, you salute him because he said, "Look, I'm good enough to sit. I'm better than sitting on a bench. So I'm going to go out and make my name," which he's done. And I'm not disputing it. But United would have to say, "Listen, you're coming here to start and play every week."
Yeah.
That's what the rate.
Yeah.
There's no point going to a big club
And
to
not
sit on the
playing.
bench. It makes no sense for him because he showed that he can play. And this is my opinion. I just think the Premier League is where you want to play.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But if a club's just saying, "Look, you're going to play and you'll be a bit part," man, stay at Borussia Dortmund and keep doing his thing.
Yeah.
What's been good as well is he's playing abroad but still getting recognised by the England squad as well, which with
wouldn't
previous
have happened,
managers
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
hasn't been
completely.
doing as well.
But sorry, man. No, I was just going to say, I think he's going to get other opportunities to go to a big club if he doesn't go this summer. He's 18. And actually, you could argue that because he's had such an outrageous season, it would be easier to make a move after a down season. The price will be a little bit lower. He's been involved in 20 goals already, I think, in the Bundesliga now. So, I don't know, maybe I think he should maybe stay for another year and just develop a little bit more. It's a good league to develop.
They'll want to keep him with, Marco Reus has clocked up more minutes this season than he has in the previous 4 or 5 years, won German Footballer of the Year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if at 31 he's going to be able to put up, the expected goals and assists that he has done again this season. So Jadon Sancho, if they win the Bundesliga...
It's tight now, isn't it? The Bundesliga's tight now.
Maintaining that level of competitiveness with a Bayern who are going to be free spending this year, keeping Jadon Sancho will probably, be a top goal, a target. So, there might be a bit of reticence from Dortmund about cashing in now, even if they take a 10, 20 million pound hit next year.
Do you think people will look at Dortmund's philosophy, Chris, as well, and think they do tend to be a selling club? When a big club has come in for a player in Dortmund's history, they have tended to go, OK, we want money for them, but they're not a club that will say no. Do you know what I mean? If a club comes in and identifies a price tag which they're happy with, they're the kind of club that you could imagine would entertain a big offer for Jadon Sancho.
I don't know if their remit has kind of changed in the last few years because they've just seen a bit of a terminal decline in their ability to compete. Lucien Favre has obviously done wonders this year. They have a spine now again, don't they? So I think if they win the Bundesliga, they'll want to create, another little dynasty that Jurgen Klopp managed to sustain across a period of 2 or 3 years. Because having a manager of Thomas Tuchel's, standing and only being able to win a DFB Pokal, there must have been a bit of, put themselves into the microscope and said, what do we want to be as a football club? They're consistently in the top 15 richest teams in the world, but there comes a point, and Monaco are going through it now, where being picked apart and letting your leading talent go catches up with you eventually, and then you have to suffer on the pitch in order to kind of turn over that talent again over the next 2 or 3 years. I'd be surprised if there's any, if there's a fire sale this year, maybe.
OK, we're approaching half-time. Spurs, just look at the possession stats, Bo. Last 10 minutes, Spurs just edging possession a bit. So it's been Spurs getting back into the game, but ultimately still Liverpool 1, Spurs 0, approaching the 45th minute. Can't imagine there's going to be a lot of injury time as well. Good half for Liverpool on the whole, really.
Bit flat from Spurs in the last 10. Smithy?
Robertson again. It's all down the left, isn't it? The amount of joy that
Oh,
Robertson's
he
getting
could
down
have
the
played
left.
Robertson in there, Milner.
Oh.
Oh, this is getting a bit ugly for Spurs.
It's like a final ball for Spurs, though. They've been in those right areas, haven't they?
Yeah.
But just...
So Liverpool haven't really come close to creating a second.
Yeah,
No,
I think
No.
so. They've sat off and been happier to let Spurs have a bit of the ball. I mean, now they're kind of putting on the pressure. But Spurs have had their moments in this game where they've had breakaways and got to the edge of the box. It's just creating that final shot. Maybe if Moura had taken that other one first time instead of trying to take a touch in the box.
1 minute of extra time has just been announced. Yeah, it's interesting because Spurs and Liverpool are praised for the way that they do play. They're both quite attacking teams. You see that when two of the... Often, not always, of course, but when, especially in Mourinho areas, big teams from the top six meet each other, it tends to be quite cagey affairs. But Liverpool and Spurs are known for quite attacking football. We usually see quite a lot of chance in this game. It's not really been like that this game, has it? It's been quite a... bit of a cagey game, but a lot of misplaced passes, Liverpool taking their chance. But there's not been loads of chances for either team here, really.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
Do you think that'll change second half? Do you think Spurs...
I mean, for me, this suits us. Like, we've got the goal. The only thing that it gets me a bit worried when Liverpool get like this, it's... Who was the team we played where we scored late on when Milner scored the pen?
was that Fulham?
Fulham.
Yeah.
Whereas we get 1-0 and then sometimes we do get complacent like we do with mistake passes and they score and then we got to up it again. But we are relatively in control. Like,
Yeah, you say
our
relatively in
goalie
control, and you are in control because the half-time whistle has just gone.
Hey, listen, let me say, don't cut me off like that again. I'm playing.
Bale, get it ready, Bale, get it ready.
Yes,
Get the right hand ready.
I don't know if you're joking or not.
I'm playing.
The half-time
Love
whistle
punching
has gone.
coming.
Yeah, another punch to the ribs. Half-time whistle has gone. It is, of course, Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Bale, we've got to reflect on that. Must be very happy. Interesting, picking up on what you said there, this will be, despite the fact there hasn't been many chances for Liverpool, they don't really care now, do they? The way that this is going, this suits Liverpool because Spurs are going to have to come out and attack.
Yeah,
second
100%
half.
for us. I mean, our keeper ain't made to have the save. I mean, they've had flashes across our box, which is fine if they don't get on the under of it. So this suits us. So we can keep the ball, and with the pace we got, Spurs have to come out. You know what I'm saying? So for us, this suits us. So if it's like this, look, I'll fancy us to get another goal.
And Robertson, would you say, has been the standout performer for Liverpool?
That's quality. That's quality. It's down the left, which he's getting in time and time again. Look at that.
Great ball.
Jeez.
We just
I think it's a Liverpool fact. Like, if
Fantastic
I'm sat here and I'm biased, there's so much more to come from other players as well. No one's really been a dominant presence in the game.
Your best choice come down the flanks. It hasn't been the front three creating a lot of
Barring
chances.
Robertson,
It's been
sorry.
Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. Let's take a few questions from Social Corner. Will, what's the vibe? In the comments?
I mean, yeah, lots of happy Liverpool fans as well. And then I think we're in that sort of season where everyone's looking for next year as well. Good one for the panel would be, obviously, big narrative for Chelsea next year is big transfer ban. With the likes of Zuma, Tammy Abraham coming back, will they get minutes under that regime?
Pato, what are your thoughts?
I think they might have to. I don't really know how Chelsea kind of reconfigure their team without giving minutes to some of their young players. As Piliqueta turns 30 this summer, who is his backup? They might have to bring in Reece James, who's been on loan in the Championship, who does look very good,
Team of the year.
he's been in the Championship, though, still. I mean, maybe they have to bring in Mason Mount as well to fill in that attacking midfield role. I mean, I do kind of worry about it because all their attacking options, their striker options, they've already had the opportunity to play them and chosen not to. You know, Batshuayi, they've got rid of him on loan more than once. Tammy Abraham as well. So, I don't know. It looks like they're going to extend that Higuain loan. It seems like they can do that.
I think they are going to extend
but
that, yeah.
I kind of hate that move as well. So, I don't know. Chelsea, I think, are a really big mess. If they don't make the top four this season, I think they're in serious, serious trouble of falling quite a way behind the teams who do.
So you're not... Because everyone says the amount of players, I think it's over 42, 45 players they've got on loan. For you, it's not the quantity of players, it's the quality of players that are out on loan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I think there are players there who will be Chelsea standard, but the question is whether they'll be Chelsea standard next year or the year after. That's enough time to fall behind right now. Like, the top four gets better every season, and if, for instance, Arsenal make the top four, then they will invest. Spurs will invest. You've got to imagine United are obviously going to spend. So if Chelsea fall behind, they simply can't, you know, flex any kind of financial muscle to get back there because they have a transfer ban And if they're not in the top 4, then I think that the following season they will see some prestige start to disappear as well, and that can be terminal for a club.
Especially
like
with Hazard forcing the issue as well.
Well, exactly.
He's not signing a new contract. Will they have to let him go? For 150 million £150 million,
which they can't spend.
Yeah, Zinedine Zidane has made no sort of secret of his desire to bring him to the club. So, it's kind of a perfect storm, bit of a maelstrom, isn't it, for Chelsea at the moment? But I mean, people like Tammy Abraham, he looks pretty good anywhere, sort of in the front 3. So I imagine that, people with his tactical flexibility will prove invaluable. But Sarri's not the best at kind of rotating his squad. Historically, he's very rarely done it. And the worry for Chelsea fans, I guess, is more of the same.
Do you think Hazard will stay?
Listen, I think if Real Madrid... I mean, Paul Pogba, Manchester United, they're in the ascendancy, and he's still making sounds about going to Real Madrid. I think it's very hard to resist the siren call of Real Madrid, especially when you're Eden Hazard and you're looking around an ageing Chelsea squad. You're looking at Kovacic probably, going back to Real Madrid, although I think he's kind of burnt a few bridges there as well. And there's an absence of Champions League players there, or players of established pedigree that are 25, 26, let's say. Hazard's, 28 now?
Yeah.
Or at least approaching it.
Yeah.
In that vicinity. So, he might view it as his one... He's only got 2 years left in his prime. Yeah, he might view that as, this is his last big payday, his last big move. So it's pretty hard to resist that.
I think Chelsea, like you said, I think, for me, young British coming through, lost the cheek. They've got... Abraham, who scores. For me, I'm like, I get what they're talking about. Oh, you know what, established and that. But I feel that under the embargo, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Rebuild, and not being funny, it's a bit like England with what's coming through in the future. I think if I was a Chelsea supporter, I'd look at it and be like, you know what? We can build this team and build a dynasty.
And give youth a chance.
Yeah, that might play Sarri's hand, but he's not. Even with that knowledge, he's not giving Hudson-Odoi minutes this season, is it?
When I saw Hudson-Odoi play for England, my initial reaction was, why is
I can imagine Pedro playing a season longer than he maybe should do, or Willian longer than he should do in that starting 11 because of the transfer ban, with Sarri at the helm, as opposed to, you know what, let's just totally, overhaul this squad.
Let's throw it out there to Chelsea fans. Let us know what you think in the comments section. How will the ban affect you? Whilst we're at the half-time stage, we can hear from Dele Alli, who's been one of the more informed players for Spurs in this first half. He took the stadium tour with our very own Patrick Davidson. Here's what he said.
So, you're home.
Finally. Looks amazing.
You can see the smile just breaking out on your face. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's an amazing stadium.
Go and have a look?
Yep.
So since this is your first time, what do you make of all this? Longest bar in the country, apparently.
Yeah, I'd love to be a fan here. Looks like they're going to have a lot of fun, especially if we win. It's got everything, really, isn't it?
It's more like walking into a cinema.
Hopefully we can put on a show.
One thing I do like about it, nice little bits of history dotted throughout. It doesn't feel just like a new stadium, does it? It feels
I think
a home already.
Definitely, I think that was important. Obviously, we've got fans that have been coming for many years, and they would have had so many great memories at the old White Hart Lane. So for that all to be forgotten, I think it would be a shame. So I think it's important that they have brought a few little things and nice touches over with it. So
is it quite at the front of your mind that when you play your first full season in here next year, it needs to be a Champions League season?
Yeah, we would. Obviously, that's where we want to be. That's where we feel we deserve to be. We've made it a lot more difficult than it probably needed to be. A few months ago, we was in a great position. We've had a few sloppy results, but maybe this change has come at the right time, and we can finish the season as strong as we know we can.
Before we move on, in front of all these programmes, I've got a little game for you. Find Dele Alli, because you're here.
Okay, let me step back. There's a big wall. Oh, yeah.
There you are. Do you remember the game?
I think it might have been United for some reason. I don't know why. Or Arsenal. I think it was a big game.
Right. Are you ready for a first look at this pitch?
I am.
Well,
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to play. Yeah.
stunning, isn't it? And I love the fact you've saved it for yourself.
Yeah, I think it was important.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't want to see it half done and then get excited and then obviously wait. I wanted to come here when it was ready and, you know, knowing that I can, in, what is it, less than a week, be out there playing.
So you say it's amazing. Is there anything you particularly look out on and think, wow, I don't know, like, I can't wait to see that, I can't wait to see the fans here or there, anything like that?
The stand behind the goal here.
The South Stand.
Yeah, can't wait to see that full and hopefully score in front of it.
Should we head down?
Yep.
Let's do it. So how are you going to feel then in a few days' time when you're walking up this tunnel, not with me, but with your teammates, ready to play the first game here?
Very excited. We've been waiting for it for a long time and, yeah, it's finally come, so.
Do the guys talk about who's going to score the first goal? Do you think about being part of the history?
Not yet. Obviously, we've got a big game at the weekend, so all our focus is on that. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of banter flying around, you know, when we're preparing for this game. But yeah, it's exciting, and yeah, we're all looking forward to it.
I heard something about you from the last game. Obviously, everyone's taken their bits of memorabilia. I just remember being at the Spurs training ground. You know what I'm going to say?
About the big board?
Yeah.
Is that what you're on about or not?
Oh, well, I just remember someone saying, oh, we've got a problem. Dele's brought this thing and he can't fit it in his car. So it was stuck at the training ground forever. So what was it?
Yeah, it was like, so obviously around the stadium you'd have like pictures, and there was a nice picture of me and Sonny. But it was like massive, and yeah, I took it with me.
And where is it now?
Still at the training ground.
It's still there?
Yeah, but it won't fit in my house, it's too big.
Do you think it will be an incentive, not just for new players, but for people already here to stay? There's not anymore a bigger club to go to, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's a great bonus playing in such a nice stadium with, you know, the amazing fans we have here. But I can't say what the plans are. Obviously, we're all here together working hard, and I'm sure everyone's excited to play here and whatever people do in the future, as long as we make history here together. And the great thing about this club is the direction it's heading, and I think this is a massive step. You know, obviously to have such an amazing stadium and a place that not only the players but the fans as well can call it home is, I think it's a great place to be.
So when you close your eyes and picture a moment here, whether it's in the Palace game, whether it's a few games later, what do you picture?
Celebrating in front of the fans after scoring and winning. We have to win.
Thanks, Dele.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So there we go. That was Dele Alli with Patrick Davidson. Hamill, got to talk about the stadium. It does look fantastic, doesn't it? Having seen.
I mean, I went toilet for the entirety of that VT, so I did not see the stadium in the slightest. But I have been reliably informed by you that you got quite emotional being taken around the stadium because of the gravity, the magnitude of the whole situation. I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of bitter Arsenal fans saying that you copied them, which I think they copied designs from the NFL. So you know, what goes around comes around, I guess. But I'd like to experience it nonetheless. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, to be honest.
There you go. Thank you very much, Chris, for that.
I mean, slightly throwing me under the bus.
Detailed breakdown of the stadium. Let's talk about how it will affect the players then, because I've heard very mixed views from different pundits and fans and about how this will affect Spurs' season, the fact they're moving into a new game. How do you think the players, will they be embracing it and wanting to go there and play, or will there be areas that the fact they haven't played in this pitch before, they don't know the dimensions?
Nah.
How do you see it going? As a positive or a negative for Tottenham's end of season, the fact that the remainder of their home games will be at a new stadium?
No, I think the dimensions may come into to fact, but I think it's their ground, and I think everybody wants to play at home, and they know Wembley's not their home, no matter how long it's not their home. So I think they'll embrace it. It'll be like, all right, look, we're back home now. I think their first game there is going to be electrifying. That's what I think from them. And as a player, you want to get back, regardless of what, you know it's their home ground. So I think they'll embrace it. So I think their last couple of games, they will finish strong there.
Yeah, Wednesday night against Crystal Palace, it should be a
good
game. I'll be there. Yes, Will. Should we take some more questions from social?
Yeah, big one for you, Bo. What are your plans for next season when we'll be seeing you? Will you still be at Wickham?
Yeah, you know what? It looks like we're sitting down talking with Wickham. So yeah, I'll be, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll still be at Wickham next season. So that's the plans. I'll be at Wickham.
Look at that. Better than 1 in 3, Bayer. 177 and 560.
What was that? What did I say?
That was your stats on screen there.
Yeah, I need to fix that up though a little bit for the end of the season. I ain't scored a little bit, so I need to fix that. I don't know why Wickham fans are going to come back strong. You're done though. So yeah.
Good question, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, thank you. Who is it?
Who is it from?
Great question. I'll answer your question with a question. That was from Clumsy.
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 Good
Go on,
question.
Clumsy, a shout out. There we go. We've got a single there.
Clumsy, good looking at. Clumsy, good question. I'll see you next season.
Big one in from Paul King. Obviously, we've had a few weeks off, but thoughts on the Solskjaer full-time appointment? Right time, wrong time? Should he have been...
Happy as a Spurs fan. Very happy. Been an amazing few weeks with Zidane getting the Real Madrid job and Solskjaer getting the Man United job.
And
Absolutely
Bayern
fantastic.
looking like they'll win the league, which means Kovac will probably keep the job as well.
There you go. For Man United, though, Man United fans seem to be quite happy with it, don't they? I mean, Ollie at the wheel is chanting every game. They seem to be quite delighted with it. I mean, it's...
I think it's good. Look, I think it's good. I think he went in there and his results are second to none in it. So, look, if you're gonna reward somebody for doing well, then he knows United. So, and I think he's just galvanised United. So, and I'm a Liverpool fan, but I just think it's good for the game.
And you're a Liverpool fan. These are your Liverpool players coming out now for the second half. Firmino, the only goal scorer, the man that separates the two teams. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Jurgen Klopp saw very animated as always, Bayo, didn't we, in the first half? Pacing up and down that touchline. Of course, Mauricio Pochettino isn't on the touchline, not allowed there as he serves the second of his 2-match ban. So Jesus Perez is leading the team pitch side for Spurs. Pochettino in the stands. Here come the Spurs players. Lucas Moura starting ahead of Son was fairly lively in the first half, but it is just that one goal from Firmino that separates the two sides.
For the layman here, will they revert back to that back four if they need to sort of push for the game? Spurs, will they drop one of the centre-backs?
I'm not your guy. What do you think?
No, I don't think they will at the start.
I think they're three at the back?
Yeah.
I think what they'll look to do is, if we're 1 or 2 down with 10 or 15 minutes to go, he might do that. I think we'll certainly see Heung-min Son, but I think more likely to see it for a straight swap than a formation change. But I mean, Heung-min Son is someone that we will undoubtedly see at some point in this game. It'll be amazing if he doesn't come on.
I don't want to see him.
You don't want to see him?
Nah.
You might see Jadon Shaqiri as well if things continue in this vein. Like, it looks like Liverpool could use a really kind of good passer in and around the box as opposed to as much midfield like legs and muscle. Go on then.
Of course, we are underway. I thought Liverpool in there, but the danger is clear.
I don't know if Shaqiri will come on if we're 1-0 up.
Shaqiri.
I think you'll more go with Fabinho.
Yeah.
I think if they score, I think you'll see Shaqiri.
You're more likely to see Shaqiri Spurs score?
Yeah.
Oh, nice little
Fantastic.
nutmeg from Danny Rose there.
Good point.
Question, well, more of a statement from Zaid. He says, I can't believe Akinfenwa's got a Liverpool jersey that fits him.
What? We're trying to... Yeah, nah, man. Come on, Liverpool,
Is that a compliment or an insult? I don't know.
I'm trying to think it, but...
Just want to say that wasn't my statement, Bayo. That was a question from
You know what I've got? I've got like an all-purpose body. You know, I make it work. You know what I mean? Yeah, I make it work.
All-purpose body?
Yeah, you know how it is. Come on, lad.
Here we go. Spurs the chance.
It's just a Liverpool bed sheet that he's cut. He's cut a hole in.
Have you still got the Liverpool curtains and the pillow?
I'm not trying to show you my arms, what I've done to them. I'm just showing you this little bit out here. Look at the check. Jeez.
I was mesmerised. I was just staring at your nipples on.
There we go. He wants a close-up, I think, on that.
Get that?
There we go.
Bam.
There it is. Oh, we got even closer, Bayo.
Oh, you get that? Look at that.
This is award-winning
I mean, this is free advertising.
entertainment, right?
Yeah, I know. That's just because I love him out here. Normally, I'll make you pay for that. Yeah.
He's not joking either. He's not joking, I can tell you. Oh, he's only joking. Well, any more questions from social?
Speaking of Bayo and his love for Liverpool, what was it like to play against them and score a ruddy goal?
Yeah, remind us of that game, because you scored in that FA Cup game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when you were at AFC Wimbledon?
AFC Wimbledon.
So talk us through that.
It was the only time I've ever wanted a goal to go in against Liverpool. I'll say that. And I keep saying it for 20 seconds after I score. Like, you get a close-up on my face, I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, snap, I've just scored. But no, it was wicked in a sense. I mean, I was on the same pitch as Gerrard.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, you see goal scorers, 2 for Gerrard, 1 for me. Like I keep saying, I'm still a bit mad at him because he took away my opportunity to play at Anfield.
Stole your
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He
Replay,
he just whipped it in and then smiled at me. He was like, "Hey, sorry, big man." I'm telling you, he said
Did he actually say that?
As he took the free kick, I've come back in the wall and he's just gone, "Sorry." I swear to you.
He said sorry, big man, before he'd taken it?
Before he took the free
Wow.
kick. And then he just put it in.
my God.
And then just... And that's what I keep saying, like, it was when he wanted to up his game, when he wanted to up it, he just did. And that's just... I'm saying he's the best player I've played against.
Did you swap? Who did you swap shirts with that day?
I didn't give nobody my shirt. We had to pay for our shirt, so I had to keep my shirt.
Yeah. Especially that would be custom made, wouldn't it?
Exactly. My shirts are custom made.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's no secret. Gerrard give me his...
What was it like playing for Wimbledon at that moment in time? Obviously on the rise during that period.
Is that Virgil van Dijk at the back post, narrowly over? Big chance for Liverpool.
I said it, man. You know, I thought that AFC Wimbledon was a unique club. I thought I was a different type of player, and I thought the fit was wicked. So
Kings Meadow, home ground there.
it was
Oh,
good. It was
maybe
good.
should have done a little bit better
It was
there.
good. Come on, boys. We've started this half well, so let's score while we're on top.
Yeah, strong chance for Liverpool. Started the half strongly. Gerrard, in terms of greatest midfield players in Premier League history, where does he rank for you?
To be fair, I put him up there, and it's like I rate Scholesy as well in it, and I rate Gascoigne, I rate all of them, man.
Yeah.
Them, do you know what I'm saying? But for me, I thought that
was nice.
Straight in the end for Spurs.
That positioning is so insane.
So he's in that bracket. Tough to put someone in as the top
to be
one.
fair.
Yeah.
But I think he was. Well, I joked about like all-purpose, but I think he's an all-purpose midfielder. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about the Champions League final. He played right back, and he didn't look out of play. He's just. He can play as a number 10, you know, he played off Crouch, you know.
Scored all types of goals as well, didn't he?
He's just headers, he put his foot in there, you know, so I rate him so highly, but...
Well, you spot. When I met Steven Gerrard, I was surprised with how he was smaller than I thought he would be in person. Did you find that? Because you see him on the football pitch, you see him strong tackles and winning aerial duels. He's actually a little bit smaller than you'd imagine him to be.
Well,
based on how he plays in the football thing.
Most people are smaller when I walk.
No, but
to me, the funny thing is, it was different. I thought he was taller than what I thought he was.
And the height, you mean?
Height-wise. And we sat down, and it's funny, though, because he's very soft-spoken.
Yeah.
Like, when I spoke to him, he was just, listen, he seemed like he simplifies everything, do you know what I'm saying? And he was just talking, but you see the passion when he plays. So when I spoke to him, I was like, rah. I was expecting it to be, but it was so calm and it's cool.
More of an intense character like Keno. Like because he's as intense off the pitch. Isn't he?
Yeah, I've never met him, and I'd love to have a conversation with him. I would like. Just to
What
see.
would you
how
say to
he's-
him now if he was on the football social? What would you say to him?
I'm like, what, Keno? He's a bad man on the pitch. I would have loved to play against you. That's what I would have said to him.
To get him on then, didn't we?
Jeez.
You know, when he used to do punditry for like Adrian Charles, it'd just make his life so
That'd be a
hard.
tough gig, that one.
So difficult. It's so fun.
That's like Souness as well, though. Souness is something else as well.
what happened
Nah,
there?
man, VVD had it covered.
Keeps that old midfield general persona off the pitch, doesn't it? Right, what's happening here then, Smithy? Because
It's an interesting start to the second half because Liverpool had a big
Combative.
chance. Spurs have been passing it around OK, but Liverpool had a big chance. It's quite a cagey game, this.
And the worst thing is, like,
know what he's
Salah, Mane, our front three's been quiet.
It has been very quiet, hasn't it?
Very quiet.
Yeah.
But then, to say, to be fair, Kane's
been quiet, yeah.
real quiet.
The
how's
strikers in
Davinson
the game
Sanchez
for both
been
teams
lately?
been really quiet in this game.
Because Davinson Sanchez had an incredible sort of period where you're expecting him to adapt to the Premier League. And then, you know, that dip that we should have perhaps expected came along. Is he kind of finding his way back to top form?
I'm a big fan of his, but I think he's another one that suits the system of a back three a lot better. So if we were playing as a two, so a back four, you'd want Alderweireld and Vertonghen there. Partly because, as well, just their understanding is so good because they've played together as a two for not only Spurs but for Belgium for many years. So they'd be the two I'd have as a two. But when Sanchez plays in that back three, he's usually very commanding. And also, when he plays in the back three, he often plays in the middle of the bach three, which shows how much faith Pochettino obviously has in him. Because if he doesn't play regularly, then he says, you're going to be in the middle of the three, dictating that line. Poch is a big fan of his. And he's very young still. I'm a fan of his. 1/4 has been chucked into some quite big games. And I think, you know, people have seen some quite high-profile errors from him. But, again, he looks like a player that's got a lot of potential, but there's a lot in front of him at the minute.
Not great here that Dele Alli's dropping so deep because, I mean, your fullbacks are just really struggling to get the ball up the pitch. You're not having a lot of meaningful
There we go.
possession.
Heung-min Son is warming up, Bayo.
Sit down.
You're a bit worried about him, aren't you?
Telling you, he's a really good player.
It'd be great for the game, though, if he scored, wouldn't it? 1-0 would be great for the game.
Stop that talk, man. We don't need great for the game. We need the no.
Kane in the box.
It's all about those
No.
views. It's all about the views in the live stream, and a goal, means views. So.
No.
Content is king,
It's
mate.
bigger than views out here, boys.
Nothing is bigger.
See, Spurs are actually passing it around here, but there's so many red shirts behind the ball whenever Spurs get it into the attacking third.
Trent, you're better than that, Trent.
Danny Rose
Come on, Danny.
has had a good start.
He
to
has.
this half,
Danny
actually.
Rose had a very good start.
And so has Eriksen. Eriksen's doing a really good defensive job, but just hasn't had a chance to kind of thread the needle yet.
But there's so many red shirts behind. Kane hasn't had a chance where he's lost. That there's not a man that he's lost or he's in behind. Defended so well to nullify Kane in this match because he's hardly touched the ball.
A couple of those passages there, like really embodying what's going on. Couple of sort of interchanges, and then it's kind of recycling it, isn't it? Keeping it.
That's speculative.
Come on.
Well done. I love that.
Harry Kane, is he the best striker at passing the ball in world football?
No, come on.
Who do you think contends with him?
And getting
out
into
and out
number
number
10
9.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You mean it?
We had a mini debate in the pub about this the other
creative
day, and I think he's a severely underrated passer.
Man, I think he's...
Yeah, I know.
Towering.
He's gone from a 9, he now drops in as a 10 a lot, and he spreads play very well.
I think
his
passing's great.
His passing is excellent.
Yeah, I
Very good
agree. I
passer,
think
the best in
he's...
the world, is a big claim.
No, he was on side, man.
What number 9s are as good at pass? I mean, this is
Lewandowski's a very good passer.
maybe
Firmino's
Luis Suarez.
Suarez is an incredible passer. Yeah, Lacazette is good on the ball. Sebastian Haller has had an amazing season. And he's always been a sensational passer, actually. Outside of that, I mean, it's hard. I'd say Dries Mertens. He's...
Oh, is that a penalty? Oh, penalty shot Spurs not given. We need to review that.
Dive in, get up,
Straight yellow.
Couldn't
Dries
quite see
Mertens
what happened there.
Yes.
The other way
Straight
around
down the other end, Liverpool.
Oh, he's holding
David,
him.
good. Bayo, we need to
have
look
the
at this.
free kick.
We need to have another look at this.
We'll have the free
Clarify
holding
this.
his arm.
Is that not getting brought back? Wow.
We'll see a replay any minute. Spurs with a penalty shout. Straight away, to be fair, Martin Atkinson went no, so it wasn't one he thought about. Straight away said no pen.
Was there a big appeal from the players?
Not a huge appeal, no. Lucas Moura went down to grab. We need to
Real
see...
time, it looked cleanly won.
Yeah, we need to see a replay of it.
Book him.
But the ball's still in play. Book him.
Yeah.
Get him in the book.
Man, don't let him
Open up
run.
a bit this game, isn't it?
this is
man, I
quite
don't like when he
interesting.
starts
It's got quite
running,
nice,
man.
this game. Danny Rose.
Yeah.
Up and
Danny
down
Rose
that
is having a good, good game.
Go on, Kane.
Get that.
Harry! Come on, follow up!
Oh, we see him
Big chance for Spurs. Deflected.
Robertson.
Wide. Oh, that was a chance for Tottenham.
That's the first sort of heart in mouth moment you've produced.
This moment, Danny Rose,
The
once
defensive
again.
line is just pulled all the way over.
Yeah.
Harry came with the shot. Alisson parries it out. Eriksen coming in. Must be about 8 yards out, and he's deflected for a corner. Big chance for Tottenham, that.
Got to go.
Oh.
Yeah,
You don't get many chances against Liverpool. They need to take one of these.
I mean, Trent only just made this game by the skin of his teeth, didn't he? Do you think that he's starting to show signs of a bit of... Oh!
I don't know, though. Was he really the issue there?
Come on,
I mean, like, Van Dijk got beaten too easily.
But that's... I'd say in the...
Look how open it is.
I'd say in the first half, there's just, with Rose's prominence in the first 15 minutes or 10, 15 minutes, that might be something to consider. But, yeah, it could easily not be the case. But yeah, he only just... Because it was a thigh injury or hamstring. He only just made the game, didn't he? Who else? I mean, Fabinho can play right back. He's played right back for Brazil, hasn't he?
Yeah, Milner as well could come.
Oh, yeah, Jimbo.
Fit back in there.
Boys,
Jimbo Slice.
we've gone open.
This is interesting to see what Mauricio Pochettino does here, because Lucas, I think, has actually been a very effective player for Spurs. The obvious sub with Heung-min Son warming up will be Moura for Son. But actually, I think it'd be harsh on Moura to come off the way that he's playing. Ali and Eriksen have been in the game as well, so I'd be amazed if they took one of them off. But Son was warming up.
Take off Kane, man.
So I think he's going to leave it. Spurs are doing OK recently.
You are. Last 10 minutes.
Last 10 minutes, Spurs have been playing quite well, so I imagine he's going to leave it as is.
I don't know. I feel like taking more off wouldn't be the worst idea.
You don't think?
everything dangerous has come down Spurs' left.
So why would you not take off? So would you say?
I'd leave it as it is.
Okay.
Moura had that. We don't know if it's a penalty. I'm not saying it is, but he had the chance where he lost his man, went down. He had the first chance in the first half. He got down the byline. 2 or 3 of the occasions.
Don't put that in the sky.
He's got him behind, doesn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty. Don't put that in the sky like. Oh,
no, I'm not saying it was a penalty. We need to see it again.
Exactly. All right. So what I'm going to say is,
so would you say
Moura's more effective than Kane?
God.
Bless you.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't change anyone at the minute.
I'm asking you now.
That's seamless broadcasting.
I'm asking you.
Who sneezed there, by the way?
Just bless you.
I'm asking you now. So has Moura been more effective than Kane?
I don't think Kane's had a lot of the ball.
So answer the question.
Has Moura been more effective than Kane? Yes, he has so far.
So then when I joked about take off Kane, why would you not take off the person that's less effective?
Never take off Harry Kane in a game like this.
That's
my opinion, because he only needs one chance to score a goal.
I kind of agree with that.
You never take off Harry Kane?
Well, not necessarily never take off Harry Kane, but I feel like Harry Kane being, regardless of his performance in the game, I feel like your chances of scoring as a side are higher.
I get what you said. No,
I agree.
saying.
I know
especially,
what you
especially if you're going to bring Son on.
Somebody's presence. I think they're scared when Harry Kane gets.
In a game like this,
when Kane plays as well, Son gets that space for like those kind of.
He drops in the position.
Moura again. You see, this is my point. Moura has been very lively.
Oh, that's terrible.
And my point is, in a game like this,
get him off now.
Hey, look, come on. Come on, now we break because they have to come.
Oh,
they
go
have to
on, feed him! Go on, no, feed him!
Is this?
You are being bare greedy, brother.
It's not right. Liverpool still with a chance.
Jordan.
Bruv,
A right
look,
foot
you
really
lot now.
He's got to play that forward.
Give it
Moura to get rid of it.
Mane.
Mane.
He's the one, sorry.
Give it to Mane and me.
Listen, I'm sorry. I know you are, but I know.
Get behind your team.
I know your position because you ain't scored in 7. I
This
get
is a
it.
great pass.
What a ball. I mean, Sanchez is on his
What outrageous.
You give it.
Just to echo my point, Babe, the reason I don't take Kane off in a game like this, and I don't think he's been that effective and had much of the ball, but this is a game where we will not get many chances against a very good team. So you want your person who's the most effective.
I just wanted to know your viewpoint on it because I do get it. I do get that Kane scares people.
Oh, hang on.
You can't put your head down there and expect not to get kicked.
Straight red.
It's like a Kevin Nash big boot, that was.
I feel like the football social second half, it's gone up a level, hasn't it?
Yeah, come on!
Even Will, go on, Will.
Yeah.
Will's not even spoken about Birmingham yet, have you?
Well, give me an inch, I'll take it.
Stay solid.
Well, let's talk some more about Spurs' stadium, eh? Is it mankind's greatest achievement? Let us know in the comments below.
That's a big shout, isn't it?
What, the wrestler? What an architect.
Also Cactus Jack.
What an architect.
Only man to ever enter the Royal Rumble.
3 times.
3 times, yeah. Let's do more together.
Talking of Kane, not the wrestler, the footballer, seamless link as we were talking about mankind is a wrestler. There is a prize boost on your screen right now. Harry Kane has scored the second goal, Bayo. Was 7-1, now is 8-1. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. We spoke about Kane earlier. Do you know what? I'm going to bring Mark Vella, the floor manager, in here because... thank you very much.
Last shift as well.
Mark, can you just stay in vision here? I don't know whether I should be doing this, but Mark Vella, who gives us the tease every week, this is his last shift at Sky.
He does other things.
Ever. He's been here for years. So Mark Vella, floor manager, works tirelessly behind the scene. Last ever shift before he works at Sky. So on behalf of everyone, thank you very much. Thank you. OK. You're not mic'd up, so you can go now, because we can't hear you.
And you didn't bring me mine, but it's cool, though. It's all right.
What would you like, Bayo?
And a hot chocolate, which I
Can Bayo get a hot chocolate? Pato, would you like a drink?
Yeah, can I get hot chocolate as well? Thank you.
Hot chocolate. Will, let's go to social corner.
Yeah.
What do people say? Have we had any Man City fans in the chat? Because it's obviously a huge game for City as well in the title race. Oh, what did you say? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, get them in the chat.
I mean, Pato's point is backed up by there are no Man City questions.
OK.
One for Bayo here. Who's the toughest...
Taken on board,
Nervous.
Nothing, it was
Bayo, I tell you what, Spurs are in this now. This is...
No, Spurs are always going to be in
this, mate.
But we said this. Let them come and we hit them on the counter.
If Danny Rose has
had a really good second half.
Danny Rose is getting Alexander-Arnold, why not double up on him, bring Son on as soon as possible? I don't get why he's not on the pitch yet. 60 minutes gone. I expect we'll see Heung-min Son at about the 70th minute mark. Sorry, Will, you had a question for Bayo.
Who was the toughest defender you've ever faced?
Toughest.
That's from Thomas Griffiths. Thank you, Thomas.
There was a few. I come up against the Soji brothers. They were...
Oh, yeah.
They were tough. Morgan. Where's Morgan at Leicester? Yeah. We used to have some good battles. Guy Branston, if anybody knows. Always people with big heads, like Wham head. I was on a big heads. Hi, Bradston.
What, you mean physically the size of his head?
Oh, my days. Wham. Hey, I'm telling you, but very, very good player, to be fair to him. So, but I'd say I enjoyed my battles with Wes Morgan. We had some...
It's a good answer, because he's a beast as well,
Yeah,
isn't
we
he?
had some good battles, good times.
Right hot streak in terms of scoring in the Premier League at the moment, isn't he?
Good for your fantasy league, he'd be, wouldn't he?
Absolute bargaino.
Jeez.
One from Mustafa Khan, he says, as a United fan, I'd rather Liverpool win the league than City get a quadruple and beat our treble on the 20th anniversary. If you lot were United fans, what would you do?
Cool.
3 years in journalism, and that's what's the great questions coming in there. But what would you rather do, Smithy, as a neutral?
I think.
I mean, who would you rather see win the league?
Am I right in thinking most Man United fans would rather Man City won the league than Liverpool?
I think that's the overwhelming consensus.
Why?
So that surprises me.
That baffles me.
Because Liverpool are the historic rivals, aren't they?
Yeah, and Liverpool have never won the Premier League either.
But this is
Man City,
Yeah, but
they've
you're
seen
saying-
Man
Exactly.
City-
It doesn't change City's history that much if they win the league this season, having won it last season. Whereas
If Liverpool
Liverpool's pain is quite enjoyable for Man United fans, right?
What a touch!
Best
That's
touch.
from Danny Rose.
Outrageous touch.
Ball! By the way, that touch from Danny Rose, I hope we get to see that again. That was an incredible touch. Spurs are right back in this game, but Van Dijk, absolute rock at the back.
Is Danny Rose going to Madrid
I doubt
after
that.
this form? I mean, we've got to ask the big
After this
questions.
form,
That is a big question.
The big
Very
question.
injury prone. I doubt.
Question everyone's
I'm
asking.
bigging him up here, Smithy. I'm
Yeah,
on the Spurs side here. I'm trying to bring Rose into the equation.
I think Danny Rose got the best lid of his career right now. His hair's incredible right now. Seriously. He's been so good in this game.
was
How old
watching-
is he?
he
Is he
has been-
30 now?
Watching Match of the Day last
Is he
night.
30? Yeah.
And Andros Townsend must be the best advert for hair recovery in the game.
Conte, Klopp.
Oh, Conte's a good shout because his was literally
Conte, yeah.
just a whispery, wasn't
Conte
it?
was
A
pure,
strong
pure
breeze
like
was-
the kind of monk who
was
makes
primed to
cheese.
finish
Have you
him
seen
off.
the one of him in the playing
Yeah,
days? where he just
I
had the
can't
mock
remember
on?
that man.
It's unbelievable. And
There's a
now,
photo of Conte on the
There's an
front
amazing
post.
photo.
Yeah.
Is it?
He looks like a professor in Harry Potter. Like he's just got wispy.
I know Townsend's
ancient.
hair was all
David
over.
Silva's is coming in nicely as well.
Oh, he's done well there. He salvaged that, hasn't he?
Shouts to the Belgravia Centre.
He played the long game there, didn't he,
Yeah.
David Silva?
Is that the biggest?
The long
Is that not the biggest comeback of the season? David Silva. That's got to be up there.
Literally the comeback. Yeah.
Literally. Christophe Dugarry, who can get those
Birmingham
Jesus.
City legend, isn't he?
Did he play for Birmingham?
iconic.
Yeah, no.
I admire Christophe Dugarry match shootout cards or whatever they were called. Maybe just shootout cards. I admire shiny Christophe Dugarry stole them in year
shiny-
5.
the
from
shinies
the-
They made a shiny one of them.
from the PE
that ironic?
block. So
I remember
never forgot that. And my Tony Cotty sticker.
Wim Jonk.
Yeah,
Let me
Vim
tell you
York.
something. You lot ain't watching the game.
And then,
They are Tottenham's looking.
I tell you what, Tottenham, it's been
effective.
all Spurs.
Come
this
on
last
then,
5-10 minutes.
Spurs.
Matip whips
Make a
it behind
game
for a
of it.
corner. Ericsson getting a
Our
lot of joy at the
distances,
minute.
we're getting
It's impressive
spread.
from
Come on, you
Spurs.
Spurs.
We're getting spread. Our
Corner
distances
for
look all
Ericsson.
over the place.
Ericsson's been a little bit
into
more
it.
present, hasn't he, last 5-10 as well?
It's a really tough one whether what Poch does here because we're actually playing well. So on the one hand, I'd think don't change anything, but we've seen Son warming up. Corners whipped in. Corners have been poor actually.
My God.
as
They
good
haven't been defended very
For
well.
as good as Ericsson's been playing, our corners haven't been
There's
brilliant.
been a few
so far.
second balls, though, dropping in that little
Yeah, we'll take
centre.
that. We'll
Yeah.
take the free kick.
You feel like put somebody on the penalty spot.
I feel like this might be it.
We've got like 4 men on the penalty spot, and they all run their post, but because we mark zonally.
Do you think now might be a good moment to bring someone like Fabinho on to control that midfield, play a little bit more with Spurs in the ascendancy? Because it's getting a little bit scrappy now.
Yeah, I would
and help
make a
cover
change
the
now
right
for
as well.
Liverpool.
I thought Milner would do that.
Pochettino is on the mobile phone. Just to reiterate, he's in the stands because of his touchline ban. He is on the mobile phone. And it just...
There he is. Wow, look at that.
Hello, what's going on?
How's he getting 14 in that stadium? Unreal.
Tony Jimenez, Miguel D'Agostino and Jesus Perez are the three. This is brilliant. So he's just rang down to the bench. Luckily, they've got signals. Very hard to get signals at football grounds.
Oh, yeah, how has he got that?
He's rang down to the front three, Miguel D'Agostino, Tony Jimenez and Jesus Perez. Jesus Perez has been handed the phone into his ear, and Mauricio Pochettino is holding his mouth over
Here
his
we
phone.
go.
So
Run a
Pochettino's
play.
speaking to Perez.
Man
Use
uses
his phone. It will be a substitution.
Matip, watch. We're going to score right here against another play. Come on, Liverpool.
Brilliant.
Serious
Matip,
point,
shut
man.
it down.
Wi-Fi.
Matip,
Stadium,
innit? Here we go.
Yeah, it's dreadful, isn't it?
Here we go.
Big Joel.
Yeah.
We're going to have good Wi-Fi.
No,
Tell us about it.
was actually
it's going to be
quite
the
good on
best
this
in the
Saturday.
world. Oh,
No, not the best in the
amazing.
world. I'll tell you where was...
Daniel Levy invented
No,
Wi-Fi.
there's carrier pigeons in the new stadium. Like, they
Russia?
just shoot them straight
No, they've just
down.
got tin cans on strings that
Lorenzo
stretch across.
warming up as well. Lorenzo and Son both warming up.
Oh, they'll be terrible. That'll strike fear into the hearts of the Anfield faithful, won't it? Llorente warming up. What's going to happen?
Man, you lot stop
Passo's
saying
back.
That's a classic Pato line, that, wasn't it?
Look at
Oh,
it.
which elderly man are Spurs going to bring off the bench today? Will it be Fernando Llorente, who used to play football?
Wonderful eyes, though.
I'll give you that.
He's
What a
another one with a good
gorgeous
haircut as
bloke.
well.
Great haircut.
Yeah.
Great
What,
haircut.
the Lion.
There's no product in it at the moment, so hard to
Corner
tell.
for Liverpool, Bayo.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
This has got away from us.
A very random 2 minutes on the football social, but
That's what
there
we
is
live
a
for.
corner.
Look,
Come
he's
on,
holding
Smithy,
it.
you've got to get
He's
this
holding
under
it.
control, mate.
Yeah.
Come on then, Spurs.
Oh, no!
We're 30 shows
For some
deep.
reason, I thought that was going to
it's
end up in the back of the net.
Sissoko. Monster.
Smithy, I'll get behind Spurs for you. Just
Thank you. What about this? From Sporf.
Right, going back to centre-back options, why don't Liverpool just completely disregard their, responsible fiscal spending of late and just go all in for De Ligt?
Well, supposedly they are interested.
I think they are, aren't they? Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
You can
great
understand.
Odin's Raven.
You can understand if they say, we're gonna bank on Joe Gomez. You could say has shown enough to deserve a shot at being a first
Oh,
choice
no.
centre back.
Salah. Oh,
My good God.
I actually want to see Salah bag one. I
don't care.
He needs to get his mojo back, doesn't
Just
he?
as long as we score.
I mean, you say that, but it's funny. Like the narrative has become that Mo Salah is having like a subpar season, given that he's been involved in more goals than Mane. He's been involved in the same number of goals as Raheem Sterling, who's having a fantastic.
I mean, Mane's
season.
17 non-penalty goals, though. Mo Salah's taken a fair amount of penalties, hasn't he?
But also, Mane's only got 1 assist, whereas Mo Salah's got 7.
I don't think he's having a bad season, but I wanted to see him.
here we go. Big
hit
substitution.
25 goals.
Heung-min Son is on. Davison Sanchez is off. So we're going. Pochettino going all out for this
He's dropped
win.
the back three.
So
It's a very
I'd say
attacking substitution. This.
the drop for Salah is more about the fact he overperformed last season than that he's underperforming this season. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's about in line with
32 goals isn't
expectations.
sustainable, is it?
And last season, I think his expected goals, it was something like 24 in total, and he got 32 because he just had an amazing finishing season. Like, so you always kind of get a little bit of criticism when you overperform one season.
And I do think it's because people want Liverpool to remain, I mean, apart from Manchester United fans, competitive, so we see some sort of title race as well. That's why everyone's like, come on,
Get up, look, he's in.
Oh, what a pass!
We
That is
keep interrupting
My
Will, who's
God.
trying to be a professional here. Can we
Hang
just
on! Go on! Yes! Come on, Will! Yes! Can we just say, what an unbelievable ball this is from Harry Kane? This is
the best passing forward in world football,
He's
mate.
just called him the best
Come
passing
on.
of a number 9 in world football. Bayo, the ball is in the back of the net. What is the score, my friend?
We've deserved that. We really have. We really have.
Lucas Moura, I said keep him on.
Come on,
because
you,
he-
Lily White.
He scores the goal. That's why he stays on the pitch. And he celebrates.
Fantastic.
Have a look at this replay here.
Harold.
This
Kane
is an
gets
outrageous
fouled.
pass.
This is incredible. Kane gets
Bring
fouled.
this down as well.
Is
He
the
must-
ball-
oh, my word.
Look at
Must
this
play it
touch.
about 30 feet. It's a great touch,
Fantastic.
actually.
Is the
Paso,
ball
yeah.
rolling?
It's the ball
he
here.
scuffed
So
that.
Lucas
Perfect.
Moura, 70 minutes gone. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 1. We have got a game on our hands.
Stiff.
Bayo,
moving.
allegiances
Clip out
aside,
the
thoughts on
best
this goal.
passing
It's a
thing.
fantastic ball from Kane,
Look,
isn't
I
it?
mean, you see it.
Ericsson assist.
Oh,
I think he actually means he probably
Yeah,
means the
he's
ball
not
across.
shooting there, is it? Look at his body
It
position.
looked like more of a scuff.
Is that rolling?
Rocket.
Oh, it's rolling, Smith.
Oh, no.
You've got to get VAR and say that can't stand.
You've got to, you can't say VAR without doing that. You can't. That is it.
That is lovely from Ericsson, actually.
You'd be apoplectic if you're Jurgen Klopp right now. What's going on?
Brilliant.
If they can't see a ball rolling, should they be officiating the game, Smithy? What's happened?
I mean, you have got a point. Look,
Son's
the game's
mere
rolling.
presence, Smithy. Son's mere presence there in the 6-yard box. Look, freeing up room for Harry Kane to drop off.
And who scores the goal? Lucas Moura, man, we're talking about.
There we go.
This is an interesting 20 minutes now because Spurs have been the better team before that goal. So it's been interesting to see how they go about this next 10 minutes now. Because Liverpool, I imagine, Liverpool, it's all out for the win.
Yeah.
What
So
sort
whether
of...
this-
Because you... I mean, you're coming
that is
across...
weird things to
You're
try.
not coming across as probably as nervous as you feel, but...
Is he not?
No, I
He's been sitting forward the whole time.
He's maintaining
No,
a
To be fair,
strong
I sit
element
forward all
of
the time because this
professionalism.
chair, if you
It's not
actually
good-
look at
not
it
good
sat
lumbar
back,
support.
it's really odd.
You should sit like that.
Yeah, it's really odd, Pato,
looks like
sitting
you're
back.
taking off in a space
It does. Honestly, it's a really weird chair to sit back on. Look, if you compare it to the... Yeah.
Oh, hang on, he's threatening you there,
It
babe.
doesn't
He was going
Because right now,
That is
like,
just
you know,
the seat.
I'm on the edge right now.
I'm actually
so
also on a pillow,
I'll be
Pato,
swinging.
as well,
Really?
yeah.
I thought about a pillow
You have
earlier.
a pillow one
I was
show.
very low once. I was on a child's chair, but Because Will sat up earlier.
Can you just get a shot of Will and when Will sits up? Normally, there's quite a high difference there.
You could think about not doing that.
Chance for Liverpool. Oh!
I've got a natural hunch, show you.
Will, let's get to the comments. What are people saying?
What
are people saying in the comments? Big goal for Tottenham Hotspur.
People are going off. They're already discounting Liverpool's title credentials. They're saying it's City's to be won. And yeah,
normal.
But question is, who do we think is going to pick it up from here now? Who's going to win it? Who's going to be the team, but who's going to be the man to step up and say, yes, this is my game?
This is my game. Spurs have looked far sharper in the second half. Like, I don't remember many passages of play that, Liverpool have actually actively stitched together. It's all looking a little bit ragged, isn't it?
So then they almost immediately cut through them, like, kind of 30 seconds after the goal. This does feel like a sort of Shaqiri comes on and bangs one in from 20 yards situation, doesn't it?
Come on, Jadon, you little tree stump.
Smith, we could win this,
We could.
So, interesting.
Let's all get behind Spurs. Let's all just get behind Spurs, eh?
This just calls for a hinge.
Since 1912, we're going into the archive. Since 1912, Spurs have only won 4 times in 72 league meetings.
Here we go. Oh, no. See,
at Anfield. So this is at Anfield. Of course, Spurs have a different record at home.
Why are we
but at Anfield, only won 4 times in 72 league meetings. Only 5 players have scored league goals in the winning Tottenham teams at Anfield in the last 107 years. Can you name them?
Sorry, what?
Sorry, what? Is this the quiz? I just thought you were talking about Spurs.
No, just the last bit. What was the last?
Only 5 players have scored league goals in the winning Tottenham teams at Anfield in the last 107 years. Can you know? I actually know this.
Danny Blanchflower.
Rather geeky of me, I do actually know this because I...
Ginola.
I'll give you the years. Because
give us the years.
Clive Allen. Clive Allen is one in 1986. Will, fantastic.
Come on, you Spurs.
Clive Allen is one in 1986. There was one in 1985.
Deles.
No.
That would be...
Teddy Sheringham.
It's quite early.
Is that Ronnie Cunningham?
Teddy Sheringham was one, but that was in 1993, so years apart. We'll give Hamill that?
Yeah, give Hamill that, yeah.
Teddy
It's
Sheringham
not like Paul, he doesn't have to name a pocket, like he's fine.
Teddy Sheringham scored twice. So Teddy Sheringham and Clive Allen are the 2 players. There's 2 other players.
Darren Anderton?
No.
Darren Bench.
1985 and 2011.
Garth Crooks.
Correct.
Yes! Come on!
2011.
Hang on! Wait. There are 2 players.
What was the other one, 2011?
You will, if you remember this game, you'll all know this.
Robbie Keane?
It's the last time Spurs won at Anfield.
Berbatov?
It was in 2011, the 2 goal scorers in the 2-0 win.
Bale.
You'll remember this.
Berbatov?
The other 2 memorable players in that era.
But he's not even bringing Shaqiri on.
The 3 marquee players Spurs have in that team. Yeah. There we go. Garth Crooks, Clive Allen, Teddy Sheringham, Van der Vaart and Luka Modric. 5 players to have scored league goals in the winning Tottenham teams at Anfield in the last 107 years. Had to emphasise winning because there have been more than 5 players that have scored in 107 years.
You can't be a professional footballer with the name Clive anymore, can you?
No.
It's just
I mean, who looks at a newly born child and says, this little boy looks like a Clive? It's like Keith or Gary.
They all look like Clives. They all look like middle-aged men, all babies.
Nah,
they all look like Clives or Jeffs.
Retire those names, like the number 3 shirt at AC Milan, just hang it up.
Yeah, right, fair enough.
Right, so
are you taking that game is about glory poster to the new Spurs stadium?
So ironic
I know, it's one of my favourite things. It really shows a finely
You're really not happy in the stadium, Pat, have you? You haven't even been there, but you're not having it already.
I'll tell you what, I'll go to it as many times as I went to the old White Hart Lane. 0.
Did you never go to White Hart Lane?
Why would I go to White Hart Lane? Why?
Hang on, they're in here!
Oh, what a save that is from Hugo Lloris.
Is that a cross or a shot?
No, that's a shot.
For 3 marks.
Doesn't matter.
This is, I've got to say, this is a lovely... If this is a shot, this is a lovely shot from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It is a shot, yeah.
That looks like a
shot. It's an unbelievable fingertip save from Hugo Lloris. Tipped it over the bar. What an angle this is as well that we're seeing. Tipped it over the bar. Big chance for Liverpool. It's still 1-1.
Kurt Angle.
75
back to wrestling.
Intensity, integrity, intelligence, the 3 eyes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, come on.
That's Kurt Angle's...
Come on.
Touch me.
Come on, Liverpool.
That's Kurt Angle's tag. Oh.
Actually wrestling in his lap.
Let's get back to this game. We've spoken about quizzes, haircuts, the new stadium, Mark Vella's last day in charge. Let's get it back to the game. Will, let's go to social corner. Question or talking points about this match, because this is a big last 15 minutes.
A very divisive question from Connor Prince. He says, if Pep and Klopp swap teams, who would win the league?
Oh, double sub, firstly, to bring you. We'll just let you know this sub. Jordan Henderson and...
Divock
Origi.
To answer your question...
And Milner is off.
So you don't feel like it's been ignored, I would go for probably Pep over the course of a season, but I still think... I think Jurgen Klopp could probably win, probably edges him in terms of who could do it with the Champions League from the round of 16 onwards.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I'm going to be very diplomatic. Pep to win the league with Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp to win the Champions League with Man City.
So everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner.
Fantastic.
Bayo, thoughts on the double sub?
Got to say, your energy's
You're
gone right
very
down,
quiet,
Bayo.
yeah, you have.
Listen,
Are you okay?
man, when I tell you, bruv, it's bigger than rap, it's deeper than rap for me out here. I need Liverpool to be winning this.
Yeah.
So
Thoughts on the subs then? Liverpool have made 2 subs in the hope they can win this. Fabinho's on, Origi's on. Henderson and Milner, I believe, the 2 subs that have gone
Go
off.
down.
Fan of those subs?
yeah, to be fair, I mean, I think Origi can be a problem on his day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm okay with that, and I think Fab's been.
I don't
good
get
all
Origi.
season. Shaqiri on. I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
Shaqiri.
interesting.
So I would have gone with Shaqiri, but I'm not a manager, so.
Bayo, last time you sat on this sofa, Origi scored the
Yeah, I
winner.
know, and this is what I'm saying.
swap sofas?
And this is what I'm just
Actually,
hoping.
no,
different sofas.
the two of you not fitting on these.
There were different sofas, just to
Oh,
confirm
okay,
that.
well.
There is
Yeah, you have
confirmation.
upgraded while I was away.
So
I
there's
know. What about this new
confirmation of that
setup, Pato? Are you impressed or what, mate?
Yeah, totally.
That's as good as that's as good as it gets from Pato as
That
well.
sound is as impressed with the set as he is with Spurs' new stadium there.
Did you get the same architect to do it?
I don't know. Possibly.
Mankind, family.
You have to be with us for the previous hour to understand anything that's going on in the stream right now. Just look at the goals in the
do one of these for WrestleMania.
Can we? That's a great idea.
Oh, it's only a few weeks away. Kurt Angle's last match. Get involved on the Wrestling Social.
Everyone's favourite Olympic.
Corner for Liverpool, 78 minutes gone. Seen a lot of corners this game. Oh,
What's happened there?
I tell you what, this game has got it all.
I thought he shinned that
I
one
didn't
in.
even
It's
jump.
been a great
Verge.
game, this,
That
for the
was right
neutral.
on your head.
Bayo, talk us through this
I thought
corner,
that
please.
was and then it just bounced.
Oh, and any, other given Sunday.
Virgil's up.
I don't think Virgil's done a lot wrong there. It's more that I thought Firmino would slot
Yeah,
that in.
I think it's...
Jeez.
Oh, don't lose it there, Spurs.
Come on.
Salah on the attack.
Look at his little scamp.
Oh, that's a great
cynical.
yellow. Take the
That
yellow.
is
Take the
Send him
yellow.
off.
cynical.
Send him off. Just send him off.
Clever from
Martin.
Lucas
That's
Moura,
just
that.
send him off.
He's been clever all game.
Yeah.
With his distribution, with his goal, and now yellow. And then he's looking like he's got cramps.
Look, you see, look at him.
Even though he probably hasn't.
That's what he
Yeah,
does
weirdly,
for us.
he's looked a bit more at home, kind of playing more centrally. Normally more at home
Yeah.
on the right wing, obviously. That's a little joke out there for all the politics fans. Seriously, though, he is a fascist.
Well, Bolsonaro.
It's all got quiet, so I was just like filling in. Smithy, you are aware that this is still going on. We are on.
I am aware it's still going on. We're
What
just
is
looking
that,
at
what's going on? Come on. 1-1 at
Free kick,
Anfield. That's
free
great.
kick for Liverpool. Lucas Moura.
Arsenal were 5 down by this point, Smithy.
Lucas
Come on.
Moura pulling down Mo Salah. Is it free kick? It is a yellow card.
Ooh,
Correct decision
this
from the
shot on
rest of the
screen
bit of a
right
leg
now
wrap,
of you and Pato, that is very high end. Look at that. Pato's slightly out of focus. On your face. That's one of the nicest, most aesthetically pleasing
And actually,
shots
if Will
on
moves
Football
into
Social.
shot, we can probably
Hold
get
on.
Will into
Wait,
shot.
wait,
as well.
wait.
Hold on,
What's
go back.
what's
Go back.
Origi-
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
look at that is.
Everyone's a winner, baby.
Origi's
Wow.
taking his free kick.
Not wearing makeup.
And then there's this.
And then there's that, but we cool, really cool.
Set
one.
pieces goals. Liverpool,
Really straight.
18. Liverpool like scoring goals at set pieces, Bayo. It's a set piece from a
If Origi
goal
scores
scoring area here.
Origi scores here, Smithy to present the next
If
Football Social
Origi-
just as tight.
Just
asked
Origi
to take this,
Let me
that's
take. This is
bold.
what I'm saying. For Origi to take
Tell you
this,
what, tell you what.
in training, he's a bad man. I'm telling you.
Is what? Chance What's going on? The delayed reaction from Bayo.
Oh, Bayo almost sent me to a different studio then.
This is which
That
would have
is
been
awful.
It was our ball.
Which would
It
have
was
been-
our ball. I'm just telling you that as well.
best
Look,
thing-
he's asking the question.
Which
Best
would have been
thing is as
Studio
well-
F for anyone that wondered. 'cause we're
How
in
is
Studio
Origi
G.
came on and
I just,
how is he
wow.
taking free kicks?
I'm telling you, come on.
The best
Come
thing
on.
is he's meant to do that as well.
Come on,
Clip it off
come on,
Kane and
come
try
on.
and get the deflection in. Hang on. What
No,
they asking
corner
for
for
there?
Liverpool.
Why
Liverpool
are
fans
you
are
banging?
pleading for a
You're not
hand
even.
there.
You've got to get it past the first man.
Another corner.
Get a penalty spot.
I can't believe I've just seen Divock Origi take a free kick off Mo Salah. What
No,
a
fair
time to
enough.
be alive.
I like that.
What a time.
Be good if you pushed him away.
Another corner for Liverpool.
so
Deep
beat the
corner this
first
time.
Oh, that is
Straight
right.
out
Have you
for
just
a goal
shot,
kick.
then.
flipped him over with his shoulder?
81 minutes on the clock. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 1. Firmino and more of the goal scorers. Will, comments, social media, what are people saying?
Another divisive comment. Trippy Tass says, unpopular opinion, Klopp isn't very tactically adept. After the press fails, he hasn't got a clue what to do. Not my words, the words of Trippy Takes.
Quick substitution to update you on Lucas Moura coming off, the goal scorer. It looks
Ooh.
like he's slightly injured. And I think is that Ben Davies coming on? Interesting.
Like for like then.
Another change of shape from Jesus Perez.
Are you going to a 4-3?
It's gone back to a 3, right?
Gone back to the 3, I believe, because Ben Davies will slot
okay.
in because we've already taken Sanchez off. So it's going back to the original formation, I believe, but we'll wait to see how that
Of course, Danny Rowe's
pans out.
still on, of course, yeah.
Take your point then, we'll be happy with that.
Back to you, Will.
Yeah, so what do we think? Has Klopp got a plan B, basically, Bayer?
It's total rubbish, isn't it?
What?
They haven't pressed as much this season.
Yeah, they've sat back a lot more this season.
So...
Yeah, look, to be fair, I think that Liverpool are more secure. I thought last season it was, like you said, it was all out press. And the question was, can we do that for the course of the season? I felt like, I don't think we have to press as much because we're better on the ball.
Oh, Danny Rose, what a touch that
I think that answers the question.
And also, you...
Get out of the way! Get out of the way!
Yes, Martin.
Can you just explain to the viewers what happened?
He's off, he's off.
Oh, he's not offside!
Of course he's offside.
offside.
Jeez.
So just you're aggravated with the referee there because the ref got involved in the play.
Away, man. Look here, and I don't even want to throw things at
But
there.
what are you like when you play? Is this you animated because it's Liverpool? Are you like this with referees when you play? Are you
What?
disanimated?
Yeah, you definitely
That's an
said,
outrage.
I'm animated.
Are you more animated playing than you are watching?
Yeah.
Surely
Can
not.
you imagine a conversation about marking by from a corner? Just like you taking
No, man.
I'd be like, no.
He's marking you as a corner. Show us what you do.
Don't
Chris,
punch me.
Because it's not.
No love
I
punches,
always get the
please.
big centre off, innit? And then they're grabbing. I'm like, ref, listen, do it both ways. And then as soon as I put my hand there, they blow up. I'm like, so what's the difference? So, of course, I'm going like this to the ref when I'm sweating and when I'm tired, I get angry. It's all
kicking off.
It's all a madness. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Look, as soon as Fab's come on, he's won everything. He's got to start, man.
Bit more control, yeah. I mean, not great that Firmino's dropping there on the halfway line to pick that up, but... Oh, God, Alisson!
Straight pass from Alisson.
Stinker.
We're in it.
No, but to me, I like when, because Kane does the same thing. Kane drops deep and he can pick a pass. So take it off him.
Poor touch there.
Yeah, poor touches. He's on you.
Unlike him.
Oh, lovely. Oh, no, that's so much.
You see him
Really
coming off the
didn't
line
need
there.
to do that.
Yeah, he could have just gone back to the keeper, but I'm glad he did.
This is nerve-wracking, this.
You've got certain parallels between your hair and Alderweireld's.
That has actually been mentioned
His is
before.
greyer than yours, though.
His is what?
His is greyer than yours.
Same
Wasn't a dig.
same product.
No, that's a compliment. Thank
grey,
you.
Getting the real cream in
I
there.
feel like going grey is often a good thing.
Is it?
For a bloke, yeah.
Have a look at these.
Yeah, I know. I actually mentioned this before we went out.
Bit of salt and pepper over
Salt and
there.
pepper, incredible.
Bit of
Things.
ginger in the
Got
beer.
another pass. Spurs are in there! Got a big chance for Tottenham.
wow.
Play him in! Please play him in!
No.
Oh, God!
Listen, sorry, watch the defending. Watch.
Sissoko has to play something.
No, the defending was seriously. Watch it.
No, he should have to play him in.
Watch it in the fundamentals
I
of
will
what he
watch
did.
it. I will watch it.
What VVD did.
I
then.
watched it before
You
when you
got to
said watch
slow
it
it.
again.
No, you got to see it. His defending was
I did
wicked.
see it.
He had him thinking you can go or you can pass.
But he's got to
Then
play
he
the
got
pass in, hasn't he?
nervous.
He's got to play the pass in. Sissoko to Heung-min Son.
Yeah, he had to.
I think the pass would have been cut out.
Van Dijk's great. Van Dijk's great.
Here we go.
Marking the
He's
space.
defending.
Marking the space.
Okay, watch
We're all
the
watching.
defending. So as a
What has
forward
happened
now,
there?
so you're thinking, okay, I'm
It's
trying
pass
to
from
wait.
Kane.
I'm trying to wait. So watch him.
Right,
He's like,
right,
okay, I'm trying to wait to make it. Look what he's doing. Give it. I can give you on your left.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
your
know if
left.
he gets-
Wicked defending.
So you're
At the same
thinking
time,
that
gets lucky that it's
Van Dijk-
Yeah, but it's not. But he's knowing that. Look,
This is his best option.
He knows that he wants to keep him on his left.
Best chance.
So he's like, look, I'll give you the space.
But he should still hit the target there.
Yeah.
He should still hit the target.
That's all. That's
Yeah,
all.
he should,
the
still,
target.
he should still score, but you're right. Like Van Dijk has done the thing that's going to minimise the chance of
Yes.
scoring there. He can't.
It looks like
he can't
Van Dijk's got an
completely,
injury here
like,
as well.
Get rid of it.
Van Dijk was
I
limping.
mean, as good as
Imagine
that
if he
was,
comes off.
what was Joel Matip doing? That is gung-ho
The thing
to
is,
the max.
Sissoko, Heung-min Son, he's got to play that in because Heung-min Son hits the
But do
target.
you reckon
there.
he manages it? I think it gets cut out.
I think it gets cut
out.
As soon as Sissoko's in a scenario where he has to shoot on his left, I feel like just play it, even if it doesn't make it.
Well, that's
because
where the
you're
good defending
so
comes in
bad on
because he
your
was
left.
showing him onto his left.
He's so...
Let's not forget he's a £30 million player as well, so he should be able to from that range.
I'm saying that.
And that's the bottom line, and it always takes will to come up with the crux of the issue.
Bayo, you said earlier an injury to Van Dijk would be a nightmare. He's still playing, of course. He's not limping off or anything, but he was limping after that. Do you think he'll stay?
Stop with this Spurs propaganda smell.
What's
nothing wrong with that,
He's not. He's fine, mate.
The only thing, you see the difference.
fine,
Like our fullbacks ain't getting up. Robinson, it was all first half. He was going down. It was him putting in balls. That's the first time he's touched a ball in a while.
That is, yeah. Robertson's been He's
I
managed.
feel like we've got a goal. I feel like there's going to be a winning goal here. I know there's only 4 minutes to go.
Go on, play him.
Go on then,
Play
son.
him in.
Son.
Oh, wow.
Spread. Danny Rose, also bad at shooting. Also very...
He's offside. What is that?
Yes.
Gone from Real
Spurs
Madrid
with 2
to...
big chances towards the end. They've fallen to Rose and Sissoko, and both have been
Sissoko's
blazed over the
combination,
bar.
mate, there is outrageous.
Absolutely stinking.
Sonny running at the defence.
Harry Kane's not even trying to get
Watch this here. He's offside. It's a bad ball.
Why
That's
is Sissoko
terrible.
running in at the back post, though, there? He's just stopped running.
Oh, this is very tense.
Sissoko, I mean, God, expecting him to take up, decent goal-scoring positions, I think is just...
How's that?
Was that
Just
How's
never...
that?
Did he get lucky with that pass, do you think?
Oh, for sure.
This game's
Or was it
crying
an
out for honesty.
unbelievable vision that none of us even... There's one or two.
I'm actually really impressed by
Look
the
how
fact that
open it is
Spurs
now.
have managed
Look,
to...
he's on. Go on, Dele.
Dele's
Oh,
on.
my
Go
God,
on,
Dele.
leave it for Dele. Shoot. Don't pass it to anyone. Don't trust them.
Oh, Dele Alli!
Oh, my God.
Big chance for Dele. It's all Tottenham Hotspur in these last few minutes. 3 chances in the last few minutes. Dele Alli over the bar. Jurgen Klopp with his head in his hands, Bayo.
Superb resilience from...
This is a fantastic pass from Ericsson.
It's a good
It's
effort.
a great pass from Ericsson. The problem is Spurs need to take one because we know Liverpool are going to have another chance from this game. Oh! Alisson, very calm. He
Oh,
sort
I
of
put
looks
my
like
neck
he's-
out after that shot.
Thinks
Big
he's got
time.
that covered and just watches it go over.
Who's left on the bench?
idea
Have they done all 3 subs?
Get
Ben
Jadon on.
Davis.
I think...
Ben
2
Davis,
substitutions
Son,
for Spurs, 2
and that's
substitutions
it.
for Liverpool, yeah.
Who
But
have we
they've
got left?
they've got nothing.
I mean...
Llorente, Foyth.
Origi looks like an odd choice at this juncture. I mean, I've got to say, that's
Yeah.
with hindsight,
You've
but...
got him out on the left. I don't know, man.
But I just
It's been a
don't
great
know
game,
why
this,
he's...
isn't it?
No, he hasn't.
Great game.
Who's praying? Oh, there he is.
And this result actually keeps the title race wide open. Also keeps top 4 wide open. Pato, Arsenal, your team playing tomorrow night as well. You look at the fixtures that Arsenal got. We were chatting about this earlier. Don't play any of the top 6. The only of all the 4 teams left that don't play any of the top 6 with the running. So do you look at that and think you fancy yourselves to get top 4 now?
I think so. I mean, I'm never truly confident, and also it's not like our games are easy. Wolves away is a really tough game. Leicester away is a tough
Everton
game.
as well?
Everton away.
Yeah.
Though I will say that I think most of the other teams going for 4th have also got Everton away.
Yeah.
I think Leicester, Wolves, and Everton. Most of us play those teams.
I also think
But-
Wolves and Leicester are a much tougher proposition than Everton as well, like for a team like Arsenal.
Not
you're well
Goodison. Goodison and Everton are pretty
Come on.
difficult.
This seems like our best chance of scoring.
Corner for Liverpool. Another corner for Liverpool.
Come on, boys, let's make it
I
count.
mean, the main question I think for Arsenal is going to come down to how much do those mid-table clubs care about playing for 7th? Because if they decide now we're safe, we're on our deck chairs, then Arsenal might just walk those fixtures.
You got Watford
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Watford, yeah, Wolves. Arsenal got Watford, Wolves.
They're going to be
Leicester,
tricky.
Everton. I mean, great corner.
So if they decide not to
clear.
care, then it could be a really easy run-in for Arsenal. But with those games, you've basically got to say, if we don't get this, this is our fault.
Is he
Is
on?
that offside? Surely that's offside, Red.
Oh, it's in!
What's the score?
He's offside.
What's the score?
No, he's offside, surely.
Yes! Yes! What's the score? Yes! Oh, snap! Oh, God! Oh, what?
Well, I never thought I'd have my
What?
leg played as an air guitar
What?
by Bio, to be honest, but...
Yes, yes, yes. Tell him your name. I'll tell it for you.
What
Mo
has just happened
Salah.
here?
Well,
Look, watch it. We
good.
knew.
That's good for the live stream anyway.
What's
so.
Yeah.
this game?
He's on side. Look, who's...
He's on.
He's
Yeah.
miles offside.
He's off.
I thought he was on.
I thought he was off.
I thought he was on.
I mean,
It's an own goal. It's
either
a
one of those two
dreadful
guys
ending
on
to the
line.
match for Spurs.
That is such a poor way to
Ben
lose.
Davis
watching
just
a
watched
very
that.
good second
Ben Davis
half.
got the best view in the ground for this one going in.
So that
Hold on, watch that again. I
Was
don't
he
know if he was
offside? We're debating
offside.
whether it's offside. Lloris parries it out.
Lloris was
Bounced
brilliant.
off. Alderweireld.
Incredibly catchy.
Nothing Alderweireld can do about that.
And Lloris has got that in
Yeah,
his
but
locker,
Lloris
let's be
could
honest.
just catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, the goalie.
Oh, look
How
at the
is
sweat
he
on that
losing
man's
this match?
buttocks. That is...
I always felt Liverpool had a chance to score.
To be fair, I ain't gonna lie. It looked like our only way of scoring was was from a set piece.
I mean, to concede that goal, Salah, was he offside? Was he
That
not?
must be so upsetting for you, Smith.
Oh,
That is-
devastating way to
I
lose.
genuinely, I don't feel sorry for you very often when Spurs lose, but I'm actually feeling
What? Why are you man feeling sorry for him? Don't feel sorry for him.
some element of sympathy.
I mean,
No, I don't
the
feel
last
sorry
5
for you.
minutes, it's been all Spurs. 3
Although I
chances
did get one
not
ticked
taken.
off the bucket list with a leg, you know.
Come on,
not taken.
That's like old school Spurs.
Don't forget, this time last year we had the 2-2 game.
Yeah,
Famous
this is what
2-2
I'm
game.
saying, yeah.
Eriksen off, Llorente on.
And with that controversial penalty that you man get,
We had 2 penalties. You could have
Go on,
won
Danny.
it.
I've done my neck big.
Ref, that is a free kick, surely. Come on, Spurs.
Go on.
Come on then,
take it off him.
Jesus.
Get out. Don't be
Don't
spread,
shoot, don't
boys.
Where's the whip?
Don't shoot.
Well, this is going to become
I
a
do
thing.
that with
Every time
Please don't shoot,
Bio
please don't
comes
shoot.
on the show, Liverpool win with one
the
of the
last
worst
minute.
conceivable goals.
Don't say nothing yet, boys, yet. Let's just see this game out, fellas, all right?
Great 3 points for Liverpool, Bo. You must be delighted.
All right, let's just chill.
it's
Chill. Get
Back in the
out.
title race, Bio.
I can't think of a worse way to lose. It was borderline offside. It's parried out at his own goal, having just had 3 chances to win the match. Spurs had some big chances to win the match.
You've got to watch it. Just catch the ball there.
You'd rather, if you're going to lose the match,
Let's see that again.
If you're
Let's
going to
see
lose the
that
match
again.
like that, at least put
offside?
in
Did we
a
count
bad
it?
I don't know.
performance.
Was
I think he is.
I thought he was on.
I need to see it again, to be fair.
Because it was like a high looper, wasn't it?
Much harder to process, given you've been a better side second half.
Yeah.
For Pete.
Another substitution for
Don't know
Liverpool.
what else I'm
Guys, very
expecting from
funny.
you
Best
there.
defender in the world, Dejan Lovren.
What'll be funnier if Spurs slip out of the top 4, having had that great.
Oh
first
my
half of the season,
God, Lovren
all the
for-
time.
Clap him off. Well done. You did your
when
job.
Chelsea won the Champions League, and knocked you out.
Tell him your name, Mo Salah. Sorry,
Mo
pal.
Salah
No,
off.
sorry.
I'm just mocking Smith. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
important.
good then. That's
Yeah,
cool.
You're welcome.
Sorry
You happy with that?
Yeah, United. Mo, come on, just take it. All right, let's
No,
win.
that
All right,
is-
then, shy.
Well, Lovren
where's
up
the
front. Do you
angle
remember
from there?
do you remember when Stephen Corky used to come on up front?
Oh
Centre
my
back.
good God.
That's really
That was a
bad.
vintage Liverpool era, that was.
Terrible goal. Is that the kind of goal that it's such a lucky goal to score? Is that the kind of goal that title-winning teams score?
Yes.
You can only...
Maybe it's written in the stars that Liverpool are going to win the league after such a freak
If
goal like
that makes it easier for you to
Offside.
process this loss, then let's just go with that. But I just
Lovren,
think
just end it
that
up.
was
Lovren on.
extremely preventable.
Salah.
Yeah, you in the middle, yes, just win it. Why are you in
It's
the
the
middle?
kind of goal that also Sunday League teams score.
The gods are smiling on you when it's borderline offside and it takes the direction of the keeper and the defender.
That would be
But Smith,
FDFC's
you can,
in our top 3.
You can only assume in the replays they're showing, because they're not showing the line, that he must have been onside. Do you know what I mean? That's not me trying to be a wind-up.
we haven't had it clarified,
Hey,
actually, worth pointing out.
ref, head.
They'd be all over that.
93rd minute gone, 4 minutes
Ref,
for injury time,
win
there's
it,
a head
man. Tell him,
injury.
Fabs.
Is Llorente on? No.
Is that Levente?
Oh, my neck.
Oh, that's another 2 minutes.
Come on,
Injury
man, blow
time.
the whistle, man. We don't want this, man.
We're in injury time, 93:46 on the clock, 4 minutes for injury time to play, but there is a head injury, so we expect there to be a slight delay for this. Big win, it looks like, for Liverpool. Last moments. Will, let's go to social. What are people saying? I imagine there's some unbelievably happy Liverpool fans.
I mean, there's just big debate around Hugo Lloris. Was he at fault? If not, I mean, should it have been dealt with?
He made an unbelievable save a few minutes before that. Could he have caught it? You think he should catch it?
What unbelievable save did he make?
He tipped it over the bar from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I was just trying to
I
remember.
mean, I think he should have made that save. In slow motion, it looks very catchable, but maybe if we see it back in kind of
Skip
full
off the
speed,
turf.
it might be that it was a little bit harder. But it did seem like just a bit of bad luck for Spurs.
Yeah, which Pato is very happy about.
Terrible.
And we said it at the time, Spurs had a big chance. We've got to take 2-1 up. We should have taken one of that Dele Alli chance, the Sissoko chance.
And despite
Llorente is just getting some treatment now. He's got cuts to his eye.
Oh, he has got...
Made him more handsome, if anything.
Yeah.
If I mean, yes, Mo Salah's not scored again. Yes, he's not scored against the Big Six again, which I'm sure will be the narrative will be trotted out after this. But vital part in that goal. So he's done his bit, hasn't he?
If he's a strike,
You happy with him?
Yeah, 100%. Look, the team ethic comes first, innit? No, and you know, you want to score goals as strikers and that, but we win the league, we get the 3 points.
Ref.
Oh, look, of course you're going to
Free
give
kick
it.
for Spurs.
Of course.
Definite free kick.
Last chance saloon.
Come on, then.
Definite free kick.
Llorente's on this.
I actually would quite like this to go in. This would be great.
We won't stop this,
Why are you lot? Why?
Why is the Reece not going up?
Why are you lot? Why are you man like this? Why do you just don't let us win? Huh? Don't
Let
put that
you
energy.
win.
You
A lot of
just sit there,
neutrals
cuz.
don't like Liverpool.
Yeah, why would you neutral man them? Come on.
Look at the Liverpool fans. Look at the body language of these Liverpool fans.
Come on.
Lovely bit
It's
of
going to take
oil
something
beer.
quite special for this to go in. Last chance for Spurs.
Straight to Van Dijk. That's a great place to aim that header.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick that back post.
Cut that bit of commentary out from
Crumbs.
Smithy. Last chat.
That'll
That's
be
it, surely. Thank you,
is.
Marcel.
But listen, listen. Look, ref, whoever you are, bruv.
Martin Atkinson.
Exactly. Blow the whistle. Don't go. We don't want to see this. Blow the whistle. 6 minutes. Blow the whistle. Blow it.
He's done it.
There it is.
Yay!
Wow, these are the full-time scenes. Jurgen Klopp's
Come on! on!
Liverpool have...
Come on,
Spurs 2-1,
Smee, say
last
something
chance
for
of
the
game.
world.
We're on air now,
Come on!
So on air, and Bayo is Instagramming.
Yes! Love ya.
Victory. Yes, it is Liverpool 2, Tottenham 1. Congratulations to Liverpool. Terrible way to Spurs to lose that game. It was all Tottenham with 10 minutes to play. Did not take their chances, though, and Liverpool take a huge 3 points in the title race. Goals from Firmino and an own goal right at the death. Seal all 3 points for Liverpool. Huge goal in the title race.
Yeah, man.
Oh, no. You've seen Chelsea come from behind today, and you've lost the game in the final minute.
Chelsea's decision-making.
Oh, yeah, that's Joe. Listen.
The referees were not
that.
smiling on the...
I like that. I like that.
Oh,
You know
it's
what?
just-
That's good, Liverpool. You know what? That's a good performance, Liverpool. Great result. Sorry, my brother.
That's, again, really hard.
Oh, sorry. I'm actually happy. Sorry, I apologise. I'm sorry. We won the game. I'm happy with it. I apologise. I don't
never a
want
dull moment. Never a dull moment.
Start thinking I'm some violent guy. I'm not that guy, man. I'm not. Smee's my guy, for real.
You are my guy. Bayo, live shots, talk over these. Liverpool, look at the celebrate. Look how much they're celebrating. It's like they've won the league.
No, it means a lot.
Are they going peaking a bit too soon,
No.
celebrating like they've won the league here?
No.
Salah didn't score, but on the winning
Doesn't matter,
side,
we won.
it's not going mad.
Listen, it's not. You know what? It just sends a sign that anyway. It's just like, look, and I'm not knocking Fulham. City beat Fulham, as of course they're expected to, and Tottenham, top 4, good team. We just they ask questions and we keep answering it, and that's where it is. Momentum is contagious, so we just got to keep riding this momentum. So we ain't won like we won the league, but this was a big game. There's no two ways about it. So I get it. Celebrate, exactly. Do that. Yeah, wipe your nose as well.
Very animated Klopp.
What them ones then?
Look at
That's
these
it, do
scenes.
it.
Klopp
Let them know.
Going
Let them know.
absolutely
Let
crazy.
them know.
He
It's a
knows
big-
that was a big 3 points in the
Yeah.
title
Big
race
3
for
points.
Liverpool.
It's different chasing City down now than it is like these sort of scenes happening when Rodgers' side were like 9 points ahead, isn't it?
And of course, we've seen Liverpool against Spurs. Spurs have to play City 3 times, twice in the Champions League and in the league, of course. So, be interesting to see how those games unfold. Well, let's go straight to Social Corner. What are people saying?
People just reacting to the game, talking about Hugo Lloris's bad mistake. But who do we think was man of the match there? Who was the standout performer? It's quite a hard one.
Tough one, yeah.
Team effort.
I thought Robertson was brilliant first half.
Yeah,
a bit
solid,
quiet
right?
second half,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
To be fair, our front three I thought was quiet. Firmino, Mane, who's been on flames, was quiet. Salah's been on quiet, was quiet.
Danny Rose had a very good second half.
VVD was solid.
Virgil van Dijk.
He was solid. He was solid.
Especially you think back to that one-on-one.
That,
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
2-on-1.
Big moment
when you
in the
look
game,
at that, when
big
you look
moment.
at that chance, and of course, you know, I guess if Kane's running down and you can put him on his left, you can finish on either foot, maybe a bit different. But him shaping his body that way, it was a massive moment. Him cutting off that pass and still thinking Sissoko can take it on his. I thought it was big, and he won his aerial battles. VVD was solid.
Big comments coming in. Evan says, how Spursy was that? Pepe says, lucky Liverpool. Vidal says, who do we think will finish in this top 4 now? It's so tight, isn't it?
So tight.
We have to do this like every 2 weeks now.
changed
Don't
all
we?
the
The Football
time, doesn't
Social,
it?
just like, OK, who is the top 4? But
It's like Arsenal, like, probably odds on now.
Well,
nowhere.
if we beat Newcastle tomorrow, then we'll be in third and we'll be 2 points ahead of United and Spurs. United obviously still have to play City. Spurs still have to play City. Chelsea, I think, still have to go to Anfield. So, yeah, I don't know. At that point, you kind of think like we've got a pretty good shot. But I'd still say Spurs. I still think Spurs are pretty likely to make it. Spurs plus one other.
Well, let's have a look at that top of the table now, because it is very tight, as Pato alluded to there. Story of the day, huge win for Liverpool very late on. So they leapfrogged Man City, top of the league, 79 points from 32. Worth pointing out, Man City do have that game in hand, though, and a superior goal difference as well. 2 points separate them. Then the battle for fourth, Spurs 61, equal on points with Man United, but have that superior goal difference. Arsenal just a point behind with a game in hand. Chelsea just a point behind with a game in hand. So hardly anything to separate those 4 teams. It's going to be fascinating to see how that unfolds. Hardly anything to separate those 4. Let's have a look at the bottom of the table. Of course, Huddersfield relegated from the Premier League yesterday. Fulham and Cardiff make up the bottom 3. Cardiff, Neil Warnock absolutely fuming with a few decisions that didn't go Cardiff's way. And Chelsea, again, leaving it very late to win that match. Burnley just ahead of them in 17th, 33 points for them. So that is how the table looks. Will, let's wrap up with the last few more questions. A lot of people joining the stream. We saw a pretty amazing finish to the game unless you're a Spurs fan. So let's...
I mean, me and you both heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Smithy, going forward. What does this do to the title race now? That's everyone's big question. Where's it going? Is this a bit of a momentum booster for Liverpool, or Man City going to hang on?
Yeah, we can have, speaking of the title race and the top four, let's have a look at the remaining fixtures.
Watch if it's offside.
So we're going to have a look at the remaining fixtures. We're just having a look at the replay of the goal. It's very tough. We need to get clarity on whether that goal's offside. So, Bayo, let's talk title race. These are Man City's remaining fixtures. So, away games, they've got to go to Crystal Palace, Man United, Manchester Derby, that would be huge, Burnley and Brighton. Few teams that could be in relegation battles there as well, which is another key factor. Looking at them, those fixtures, do you expect City to win most of them? Where do you think they might struggle to pick up 3 points?
Of course, back-to-back games with Tottenham and United.
Yeah.
That's, for me, I expect them to beat everybody else.
They're the two for you?
They're the two for me, of course.
He's on.
By Brighton away, Brighton's good at home, but by that time, City would know what they need to do.
Yeah.
So, for me, but of course, they're the two games. Tottenham and United are the games where to be fair, Burnley can cause it all, but they're the two games which I think you'll see a shift either which way. And we've got through supposedly one of our tough ones with Tottenham, but it's Tottenham and United are the games which I'm hoping City will come undone.
Yeah, and let's have a look at Liverpool's remaining fixtures as well. So compared to Man City's, of course, Man City have that game in hand. Don't forget, Liverpool one less fixture. Southampton away, Chelsea at home, Cardiff away, Huddersfield at home, Newcastle away, Wolves at home. So looking at them, let's get a neutral perspective, Hamill. Looking at those fixtures, Liverpool, not a terrible run of fixtures they've got, but they do have to play Chelsea.
Yeah, at home though, and I think this Liverpool side could probably run amok given Chelsea's kind of defensive frailties at the moment and the lack of feel good. I think edging past Cardiff won't be of any respite to Sarri today. That'll probably only further enhance the sort of issues they're going through. Yeah,
Wolves last game of the season.
A good run in for Liverpool, and I'd. As a neutral, would like to, rather than see City win back-to-back titles, it'd be nice to have a new Premier League champion. But I think if City get 4 points from those two fixtures, Tottenham and United, it's very hard to stop them.
Pato, looking at the two, I'm not going to ask you to remember all of those fixtures, because quite a lot to remember. Who do you think's got the tougher run, having seen City's and Liverpool's run in?
Oh, well, definitely City. I mean, City have to go away to Man United, which is probably the toughest fixture any of them have. But I also wouldn't discount Wolves at Anfield on the last day of the season. Like, Wolves have an elite defence. They have the third best defence in the league. And, but I don't know, I still just think Liverpool have got enough about them. Like, it's going to come down to whether... If City win out, they win the league. That's it. Like, it's as simple as that, because I think that Liverpool will.
It's like little factors as well, like Wolves the last day of the season, but they could be in a cup final like a week away from resting players.
And Champions League
as well. Yeah.
And
City,
if
of
they're
course,
out of the race for Europa League football, that could be another consideration, couldn't it? But
yeah. Let's take final few questions then. Final question, Will. It's been it's been a great day. It's been a terrible day for a Spurs fan.
We've got a striker on the set, obviously, Bayo. Who do we think is going to be the Premier League Golden Boot winner? I mean, this is another one that...
Close this as well.
Yeah, who's talking about
what do you think to Aguero's second goal yesterday? Did you see it against Aguero, where a little clip?
Oh, yeah, the one where he's burst through two players. Aguero's that guy. He's problematic, man. He's that guy.
Problematic.
He's that guy.
Aubameyang, Kane, Aguero. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. Aubameyang, I think, just sniffs out goals, and I didn't put him in my FIFA team, so he got mad at me. So he's definitely going to be up there. So shout out Aubameyang, you're my guy.
He get mad at you, did he? Yeah.
He got mad at me. I'm sorry, my brother. I picked it before. Don't worry about it. But it's a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? Aguero, Kane, Aubameyang's in there. Salah, he starts scoring. Mane's up there. Sterling.
Look at it now. Aguero 19, Salah 17, Aubameyang 17, Kane 17, Mane 17, Sterling 15. It's very tight.
What about Player of the Year? I know there's going to be a lot of players that coincide with that list, but that's quite an interesting conversation because it's nowhere near as obvious as last year when it was KDB for the first half, Mo Salah over the entirety of the season. Who do you think kind of edges that then, guys?
VVD.
I think it'd be Virgil van Dijk or Raheem Sterling, and it'd be based on who wins the league. I think there's always... I think if City win the league, Sterling will get it, and I think if Liverpool win the league, Van Dijk will get it.
Approach.
David Silva deserves a shout as well. Like he's had injuries this season, but when Silva and Fernandinho have played, they've been arguably the two best players in the league.
Even Bernardo as well.
Bernardo's had a good season.
Van Dijk is the favourite, apparently, to win Player of the Season. I mean, I'd imagine asking you that question, you'd say Van Dijk, because you've been raving about him.
Yeah,
since
I
the start.
think, but then of course, I think Sterling is, and of course, I'm not going to be biased, but I love what he's now standing for.
Yeah.
And I love
On
the
and
way,
off the pitch, you
on
mean?
and off the
Yeah.
pitch,
Yeah, it's
and I love his
about
maturity.
more than football, yeah.
And the worst thing is, I love his maturity on the pitch as a player, and that's and you see it. And what's good, he's doing it for England.
Yeah.
He's just all round.
He's never shied away from it, has he?
For me, what is the respect that that kid has to get on, man. It's second to none. Do you know what I'm saying? And he's proving it week in, week out. And people are still having reservations and still trying to find crap to say. And he keeps coming through. So, to be fair, if either of them win, but I just do think that VVD has so solid Liverpool. I think, you know, going forward, and then him, that one person, has just steadied the ship in the back. That's the reason why I'd give it to him.
So you would, as much as you like both players, only one can win it. You'd say Van Dijk just over Raheem Sterling.
Yes, I would. And then, of course, I'll give you, I think, whoever wins the league will then get that. It would give them that little bit.
You usually see
Do you
that
know what I'm
playing a
saying?
big
So,
factor, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question. Any other final ones? Will?
Yeah, question here from Will Brazier. Bayo, can you give Smithy a right hook like you did last time?
He's my guy. We won. Like,
You
know what
can't
I'm
punch me
saying?
after we've lost
It's
another
true.
double
It's
bump.
just
Yeah.
that what you get
If
with
anything,
that.
I should get a free hit, shouldn't
Well,
I?
no,
That's how it started, isn't it? That's how it started. Right, that is all we've got time for. Big thanks. Pato, great to have you back, mate, on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Will, brilliant to have you on social as well, as always. I'm sure you'll be back very soon. Chris, good to see you. Good day for Celtic as well. Very happy Celtic fan, of course.
What a day. What a time to be alive. I've seen the hope, you know, extinguished in your eyes, and Celtic have won, mate. So,
There
great
you go.
success.
Bayo, very happy fan. I think when Spurs play Liverpool again, we might mix it up with the guests a bit, because sitting next to you watching Spurs lose in the 92nd
You're
minute.
chat my day. Don't think I didn't see what you did when they scored. You know what I'm saying? So, I think I didn't see it, but
No,
it's
it's
cool.
a great show. Pleasure to have you on as always. Let's have a look at when we are back. Football Social takes no rest, as you know. Another huge game, Liverpool against Chelsea. Sunday, April the 14th. That'll be 4:15 on Soccer M and Football Daily's YouTube channel. Massive game for top four. Massive game in the title race. Right, so thank you very much for joining us. It's been a great show.
Well hosted, Smithy, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. Enjoyed it as always. We'll see you very soon on the 14th. Here are our best bits of the show. Bye-bye. Have you still got the Liverpool pillow?
I'm trying to show you. Bear greedy, brother.
It's not right. Liverpool still with a chance. It's on your screen right now. Harry Mark, fellow floor manager, watched tirelessly behind the scene. Last ever shift before he watched the Sky. So on behalf of everyone, thank you very much.
Which elderly man are Spurs going to bring off the bench today? Would it be Fernando Llorente, who used to play football? Oh, here comes
Hang on! Go on!
What's going on? If they can't see a ball rolling, should they be officiating the game, Smithy? Oh, it's in!
What's the score? He's offside. Score!
No, he's offside!
Yes! Yes! What's the score? Yes! Oh, snap! What?
Well, I never thought I'd have my leg played as an air guitar by Bayo, to be honest, but...